If I told you the things I've seen on my ways, if I told you the things I've done in my days, you wouldn't believe me anyway. So it's best I just don't say. I've lived 1,000 lives, I piloted 1,000 souls, I killed and fought and died just for a single role.
Like Outer Limits.
Hello.
The other game.
Okay. So hi, welcome. You are watching Happy Jack's RPG, and I am Jason, and we are playing City of Towers, which is a 2D10 D&D game. We're using all the D&D rules. We're set in Eberron, but we're swapping out the die 20 in favor of the two 10-sided dice to simulate a bit of a curve. You are joining us for session 3 of this City of Towers campaign. And to catch up on past episodes, you can visit happyjacks.org/City of Towers. And you can find all of our shows, which is basically a gajillion at the Happy Jacks Network, happyjacks.org/shows. My name is Jason. I am the GM for this game. That's pretty much everything I have to say about me. We'll have a bunch to say in closing. We also am joined by many players. One of our players is slightly delayed and will be here directly. However, let's say hi to Eli. Who are you and who are you playing?
Hi, my name is Eli, and I'm in this game, and I'm playing Alaebas, the Wood Elf Paladin, Order of Agents. I think that's what his order is called. But
okay.
He loves the loot.
Pooja.
Hi, I'm Pooja. I'm playing Zay, a Blood Soul sorcerer with an aberrant dragon mark, who may or may not have really, really pissed off an elemental on the train.
I'm sure it's fine.
Nothing bad could come of this.
Rob.
I mean, you gave away my big reveal. My name's Rob.
Get a better reveal.
Yeah. Sorry, is there anything else? Oh, yeah. So I'm playing Ventuz, who's a Loxodon. Think elephant person. Not elephant man, but like a elephant humanoid.
Yeah.
Warlock of the Ancients.
No, of the old ones.
Same.
You haven't.
Tomato, potato.
The Pact of the Old Ones is the thing from the book, Rob. The book that you desperately want to play from.
I wouldn't know because we haven't rolled dice.
Yeah, we have. So the game so far has been the group meeting up with a pair of folks from the island of Welldown and the Empire of Karazosh. That's a city of Karazosh, and their empire is Karazosh, and they have a coastal town called Brine, which they would like to do a lot of shipping from and are not able to because of gosh darn politics. Some people are just a little cranky about, like about 10% of the folks from Karazosh are undead. They're zombies and skeletons, and, you know, they're fine, but some people aren't fine with it. They have met Gore and Stiv, two representatives of the Empirical family. That's not right, but there we go. The Emperor family. The two of them have come to Sharn to create they're on a trade delegation. That's what we're going to have. We're going to have 2.5 hours of Senate debates. And so
do not prequel us, Jason.
No, please don't. Oh, they already switched off. Okay. The mission is for them to be able to create a trade relationship. They were dumped basically by the house, the dragon-marked House of Orion, and they would like to create an alliance with the dragon-marked House of Thrashk. About half of the folks on Welldown are orc or half-orc descent, and House Thrashk is mostly orc and half-orc, and they're at least feeling like maybe we could get a foot in the door with the economy of Corvair and the continent by allying with folks who have similar challenges. So they have come to you to see if you can help them actuate this plan. You chose to help. The adventure so far has taken us on a lightning rail train ride, first class, of course, to a spot just east of Sharn called... I gotta open up my good Eberron map. The right. So just east of Eberron, directly is Zilspar on through Xanthus, Quesk, and eventually we came up for a stop in Trollenport. So far we've described Trollenport as a very sort of Venetian, fancy but smallish and remote art city. So that's kind of the vibe you get there. Are lots of little restaurants with tables outside and squares and just general. It's an art vibe, right? This is an art city, and that's the thing that they want to bring. They are inside a deep fjord, if you will, cliffs.
Or really, even if you won't.
Yeah, it's a fjord, whether you want it to be or not. And the four of you you were joined by Stiv and Gwar to Trollenport, where you were going to pick up a boat and take that boat across the water, scale the cliffs, and explore the unmarked service station that you saw. Maintenance shed. Yeah.
Maintenance shed works.
What it is. The maintenance shed, which should be right under the S of the map. So, we were off to pick up a boat. Gwar and Stiv were off to do some prep and shopping and wait for your return. Ultimately, you're going to, if you go through with this train heist idea, if folks want to go back and listen to that, there's a potential train heist in the works to steal a thing from House Orion, make House Orion look bad, give it to House Thrashk to return to them, making House Thrashk the hero of the day and grossly embarrassing House Orion.
Definitely not tempting them to start a house war.
No.
That could never happen.
No, because they just returned a thing that was lost. It's not like they stole it. Yeah. I mean, Orion lost it. It is lost.
Lost to Orion anyway.
Yeah, just because you know where it is doesn't mean it's not lost. I think that's how the Gandalf quote goes. So we are setting off. You're in on, if you will, on a boat. You have rented a small boat. This is essentially a big rowboat, but it's a small boat for the four of you. I assume you've brought your arms and armor, whatever it is you would bring to a high threat situation, and You are sitting across the water in this fjord that slices through a section of the Shimmerwood Forest. You're leaving the Shimmerwood Forest on the east and heading to the Shimmerwood Forest on the west. You are leaving before the first light of dawn. So,
Yes.
what do I need to know about your departure? Or do we just glide effortlessly and without incident across the water?
I think we win.
Oh, okay.
Okay, cool.
I mean, that's just normal.
That was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be.
Told you.
Yeah, you did. I got told.
I believe we rented the boat out, but didn't we talked about hiring someone, right?
Oh, you rented the boat from someone.
We rented the boat. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't 100% sure.
Don't really want to advertise the whole, like,
Yeah.
we're going to
Gotcha.
come scale these cliffs and...
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
basically, Gwar purchased the boat with the promise to return it, which is sort of how renting things works in a society without credit cards and all that. And you're supposed to get his deposit back, but it actually wasn't that expensive a boat either. You know.
Really, if we just kept it, it'd be fine.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know they're rich, and they probably don't care about the cost of this boat, to be honest. So that's fine, whatever. That's, that is the least stressful thing that they're worried about. They also went to get somebody a wand of something.
I think it was a levitation wand.
Wand of levitation. And who was that for?
I think it was for Nyx to use, but I also had a magical rope that would let us climb.
Okay. So,
And yes, it was a wand of levitation. And I do believe you are correct, and they gave it to Nyx.
okay, great. Okay, well, I guess my notes file can just close. That's fine. I wasn't going to use it.
It's not important.
I mean, honestly, the amount of times I look at my notes in a game is like, I probably didn't need that. Oops, I'm giving away all my secrets.
It's not a secret, buddy.
Whoops. Dang. Okay. Well, you set off across the waves. It is that pre-dawn gray light. Those of you who grew up around Sharn, actually, I think Ventuz and Alaebas, you came from somewhere else, right? You came from the plains and were not originally coastal dwellers, right?
No.
Okay.
Go ahead,
I
Eli.
think we were by Valinar. Well, at least I think I came from Valinar. And then we met over at the Talenta Plains, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am used to a wide open expanse with no water. So having water be the wide open expanse, new and different. I'm not sure if it's mildly disconcerting or not.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. Do you think, how do you feel about Loxodons as swimmers? I mean, elephants they don't swim great, but they do splash around in the water.
I don't want to paint an entire group of people broad brushstrokes. I prefer to look at each one individually. And since technically swimming is probably like an athletic skill, that's not my jam.
Okay. Cool. So not a strong swimmer. And we'll say Alaebas, whether or not you're a strong swimmer, is somewhat overshadowed by your heavy full plate mail armor. And but I don't think you carried a shield, though, right? You've just got like a two-hander, or you have a shield and a longsword, so you have options.
I have a shield and a longsword.
Okay, so longsword can be one or two-hand, depending on if you want to get the shield out. And we were saying, I think this is in the autumn, I think, because your armor changes with the seasons. What did we say?
Yes.
Was it autumn time?
Is autumn
Yeah,
or
I believe
summer
so.
somewhere in there?
Yeah. Okay. So it's autumn. Your armor is starting to turn from the sort of golden brown of summer to the darker brown of, all the leaves falling off. And you'd probably get some orange and brown and that sort of thing You could style that however you want. That's entirely up to you. And Pooja is Zay.
Yes.
You don't wear any heavy armor, do you?
No, but I will cast mage armor before, like when we get in the boat, because like it lasts 8 hours.
Yeah.
Might as well be prepared.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I feel about it too. And your mage armor does something special. What is the... Actually, I'm not asking as a leading question. Like, I don't remember the thing that I wrote.
Oh, because I was like, what do you mean by mage armor does something special?
Oh, I think there's some temporary hit points.
Oh, we did not... So that's not a...
It should be in the class description.
I'm looking.
Okay.
It's not in the... I'm going to look in the document you sent me.
Okay.
So the Bladesall Sorcerer, for those of you who are joining us a little bit later than character creation, is Jason's homebrew version of the Sorcerer. So we're working some stuff out as we go. Mm-hmm. And the class may change through the course of the campaign, depending on how OP I am or useless so far.
Or UP? Is that a thing? Does anyone say UP? Classes UP?
I mean, the UP people, I think, say UP. But...
Oh, well, yeah, but probably meaning something different.
Sorry, it's just funny because my dad was a UP.
Oh, okay.
But the... Oh, yes, it says, after a long or short rest, gain a number of temporary hit points equal to your sorcerer level.
Oh, yeah.
So I gain 4 temporary hit points. That is not something that is currently showing up in the in the D&D Beyondness of things.
The description of the class. Okay. I will I'll go in and make some edits to that. But go ahead and add 4 temporary hit points to your character sheet.
Done and done.
And so you'll get those back when you do a short or long rest. And as we set off across the water in the gray dawn, you realize it's going to be gray quite a while because it looks like a storm is rolling in. Zay, I think that's something you're more inclined to notice right off the bat. I doubt Ventuz and Alaebas would recognize a storm that is hours and hours away, right? It's not like the big thunder clouds are rolling in and it's starting to flash and it's like a really obvious thunderstorm. Alaebas and Ventuz, how do you feel about that? What do you think your instincts are there?
I would say that.
Go ahead, bud.
Alaebas is probably taking in the situation as something new, because, like, looking at the map, like there is like the forest I think he would be coming from is in like the bottom of Valinor, which is kind of like the same temperate region as Trollenport.
Yeah.
So I think that he's not entirely unawares, but just the whole like, hey, I'm in super heavy armor, and if I fall in, I'm gonna drown.
Yeah.
Has gotten him a little bit unnerved.
Yeah, I mean, if you fall in...
we have a wand of levitation. We'll save you.
Yeah, if you fall in, either the wand of levitation or we're going to do a check to get you out of your armor fast enough, and then you can do athletics checks to try and do that.
But then he loses cool armor, and that sucks.
Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah.
But let's see. So the... but the path across the... fjord is calm, right? The water is calm. The wind is just barely picking up, and for you to, get on the oars and row this thing across, it is not a ton of effort to get in and do that. So, the 4 of you arrive on a sort of a little rocky beach that is, not a place you'd want to sit out and have a picnic, but it's enough place where you could drag the boat up and lash it to a rock, and you could see, somewhat of a path leading up the cliff. You're going to want that rope to do some work for sure, and possibly a levitation wand to catch anyone who falls. But here we are on a little rocky beach, and you're just getting that fresh, cold morning wind, salty spray coming up the rocky beach, and this cliff that looks a lot taller than you've. It looks taller from here than it did from over there.
Well, I guess we should just start up the path. If there is a path, at least part of the way up.
Well, when I say path, it's like mountain goat type, little. Yeah. Like you could see where the goats go, but it's not super. Like that's the sort of thing you want your rope for: is rope, put toes in, goat path.
Oh, I see what you mean by path now.
Yeah.
Series of broken shrubs.
Yes.
I pull the rope out. I look around, look up, and then hand it to Alaebas. And offer. I make a gesture of do with what you will.
Yeah, I think the magic rope. I mean,
does it like tie itself? Like, how does this magic rope work?
I don't think it does. It's called a rope of climbing.
Yeah, I don't think you have to do anything. I think you just tell it to go.
Oh, you can. Oh, okay. Well, in that case, I haven't used it yet. I just picked it up from somebody, so I don't know what it does.
Yeah. Okay.
So I just... Alaebas looks far more athletic. I'm assuming he's got to throw it up there. So I'm just going to back off and see what happens.
Well, let's say this. As you get it out of your pack, and you're thinking about trying to get up this cliff, a good, 10 feet of the rope comes up off the coil, sort of swerving like a snake, like a cobra coming out. And it, leans against the cliff, and then that tip of the rope turns and looks at you. Ventuz, is this, what am I... what do I do?
Up. Go up.
All right. It slithers up the side of the cliff. And also, we're going to say this thing is already pre-knotted. The, what do you call it? The magic rope is able to knot itself, and that gives you advantage when you're climbing a rope. So
yes.
I just assume you would turn that setting on.
Yes.
I really want the rope to kind of caress the side of your cheek before it goes.
Oh, buddy.
Nuzzle.
Okay, it is so.
Ropey.
I now have a whole personality and backstory for this rope.
Yeah. So your rope covers I think it's a 60-foot rope, right?
It's 60 unless it's knotted. If it's knotted, it's 50.
Oh, okay. So here's the deal. It's a 50-foot cliff. And so this thing, it goes up, it has to attach itself to something. Now, it's magic and it doesn't have to use a third of the rope to make a good anchor, but we're going to have to get up a little bit, right? So that's only an issue for the last person up. Everyone else gets a boost and can clear the 10 feet to get to where the bottom of the rope is. But Ventuz, you might want to go last because I think you could just reach up 10. You're 8 feet tall, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty large.
Yeah, you should just boost everyone up and then go last. How's that sound?
Sure.
Okay, who's first?
The irony of Rob choosing a super tall character.
I don't. Why is that funny?
It's you got to play what you don't know.
Hey, it's fantasy, right?
That's right.
Totally.
I would think Nyx would probably go first, right? So in case one of us eats it.
I think she almost certainly would not go first. Because
in case one of us eats it, she would go second to last because that way she could point the wand at the falling body.
It's easier to catch. And also, we don't send the rogue off first, just as a rule.
Scout ahead.
Well, not at the top of a cliff. It's pretty hard to sneak your way over just bald rock. You would send probably a melee fighter of some type.
Probably the healer. I'll go first.
Okay.
I mean, you are both our tank and the healer. So
and rower.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's part of being the tank.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So I'm just saying.
All right. Well, here's the deal. We're not going to spend half an episode climbing a rope. we want to get up. You have all
and
the
your
time.
railroads.
What's that?
You and your railroading.
Sure. Okay.
We did spend most of last episode literally on a railroad.
We did.
Yes.
That's a fact.
If you'd like, you can just take 10 on this, which is, in D&D, if you have enough time and nothing's pressuring you, you can take a 10 on your roll. What is your athletics check?
Mine is +4.
Oh, yeah, 14 is plenty to get up this rope. So if you take 10, you just take your time, go up carefully. There's nothing chasing you. There's no reason not to take 10. So
Sounds good.
Okay, cool. Up you go. So it sounds like Zay should go next.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
And you said athletics?
Yeah, first of all, before you do that, I should give you some information. So, Alaebas, you get up there, and you can see, you're out on the edge of a cliff, and you're 50 feet up from the water, and it's a little, I don't know how you are with heights, but you are very high up in a very insecure position. The immediate area is pretty bald rock. You could see where the lightning rail goes by, maybe a couple hundred yards from the edge of the cliff. You remember going by here. It was a beautiful view from the train. It looked great. It's a little hairier now. And when you get up there, you are immediately buffeted by winds that are somewhat more aggressive than they were down below. So you sort of knocked around and you stabilize yourself and go, okay, I know what's happening. But just on the other side of the lightning rail is the forest that you saw. This is the Shimmerwood Forest. This is not a jungly forest. It is an ancient, redwood, evergreens type of forest, coniferous forest. There's thick underbrush and ferns and all the kind of greenery you would expect in, if you want to picture the Ent forest from Lord of the Rings, it's definitely that type of thing. So that's where you are. There's nothing up there. There's nothing chasing you. It's just windy, and you're, I assume keeping an eye out, and you can see that the magic rope has found a great big gnarled root that busted out of the stone at one point and has grown back into the stone of this cliff, and the rope tied itself around that root. So it looks pretty stable. And also bore your entire, well, you're not that big a dude, but you've got heavy armor and all that, and it, got you up here without too much trouble. So, back to Zay.
I'll go. And you said, okay, so it's athletics.
Yes, and you have advantage.
And I have advantage. Good, because I only have a +1 at it. Oh, no. God damn it. Sorry, I opened up the rolls thing and then I promptly lost my macros. Here we go, I found them.
I'm very angry with you.
So I rolled a 16.
Oh, yeah, easy peasy. You shimmy right up there, and the knots in the rope just make it too easy. You're not even wearing armor, and up you go. Did we say your mage armor is like kind of a subtle blue glow around you?
Sure.
Was it something like? I thought we had said that. Maybe I made that up in my head.
I think what we had talked about was that it was a little bit like of a more of like a disorienting kind of thing, where a blur, if you're looking through kind of a greasy glass.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, I like that.
From Ant-Man 2, right?
What's
that?
What
we were talking about the villain girl in Ant-Man 2. I can't remember her name.
Oh, yeah.
Ghost.
Yeah, a little bit like that as well. So hard to hit. So the next person would be Nyx, and I'm going to just take a wild guess and assume they want to use their dexterity instead of strength bonus.
Or
Dex.
You could let them
I
in.
definitely want to use my Dex. I'm here. Hold on, I'm just checking my video settings before
welcome.
come on live.
That was amazing timing, actually.
That was super good.
That was incredible.
Thank you.
I wish I could say we had planned that, because that's a kind of cue that I want to take credit for that.
That was when you came into Adam's Fae game.
Oh, yeah.
So amazing.
That was planned and contrived, but a lot of fun.
I mean, but still, I'm just saying, like, it was that level of perfection in timing.
Yeah, it was very
Except
good.
she didn't have to, plan it.
Yeah, plan it ahead. Well, that's because I'm a doofus, and if I don't plan ahead, I'll get it wrong. So.
Yeah, I just happened to. I just got off the phone with my family, so and here I am. Happy
Excellent.
Mother's Day.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day
Happy
to
Mother's
you
Day
and,
to mother people.
and all of the mom folk out there who are enjoying a Mother's Day.
Yes.
So, Nix, we are climbing up that cliff. We've sailed across the fjord in that little boat. Well, rowed. We rowed the boat ashore, and we're on a tiny little strip of rocky beach. And Ventuz's magic rope slithered up the cliff like a snake and attached to the top. It left about
That's fantastic.
It left about a 10-foot gap at the bottom, so Ventuz is at the bottom boosting everyone up to it because he could just reach up and grab something that's 10 feet up.
Right. Because he's lizard.
And so Alaebas and Nix have shimmied up the rope. They're on a bald cliff looking pretty close. It's a couple hundred yards from the lightning rail, and beyond that is pretty close to the edge of the Shimmerwood Forest. And you are the third one to go up the rope. It is, in fact, your turn. And in this case, here's my deal. You're supposed to roll athletics to climb the rope. I will let you roll athletics with advantage or acrobatics just flat.
Well, I have a -1 to my athletics and a +5 to acrobatics. So obviously I'm going to roll athletics. No. Obviously I'm going to roll my acrobatics.
And we established, yeah, and actually with acrobatics you wouldn't be able to take 10. Taking 10 with your athletics would be bad because that would give you a 9. So that would not be a successful rope situation.
Okay. So I'm going to roll 2d10. Oh, okay. All right. I got, 9 + 8 is 17 + 5 is 22.
Oh, yeah.
I got to 22.
So
I just fly up the rope, which is unfortunate because
it looks like you rolled with advantage.
I rolled 2d10.
Yeah, but you rolled it. You did the repeat one. So we're going to use the first one, which is a 9.
Okay, which is, I'm sorry, a 14.
Okay, still a success. That's fine. Just wanted to be clear on how those rolls work. So the third person makes it up to the top of the cliff. Ventuz, what do you want to just stay here and guard the boat, maybe, or?
The thought did cross my mind, only because, thanks to Claire, we've already done the math on what my roll would be if I took a 10, and that would be a 9.
Mm-hmm.
So
you do get to roll twice, though.
I do get to roll twice, and I love rolling, even if it's only pushing a button and not actually hearing my dice clitter clatter.
I mean, we all prefer the clicky-clacky math rocks.
Yes,
yeah.
Please make the clicky math rocks. Make the sound.
No, I have to press the button.
I missed the sound.
I know.
Touch.
All right, so I am not taking a 10. I am trying to do my athletics. I heave a big sigh, put all of my faith in the trusty magical rope of goodness that I was given in trade for something, and I roll. And I've rolled 2 12s. 2 12s minus 1 on each is actually 2 11s. So, Jason, you have your choice. I either got an 11 or an 11.
I mean, the probability on that is wild also because your 2 12s are a 2 and a 10 and a 2 and a 10, which is just extraordinarily improbable. However, I've seen that happen with real dice, too. So, what are you going to do?
How dare you emulate the real dice so well?
I saw somebody, I've told this story many times, but somebody in Shadowrun was rolling 17 dice and rolled 8 ones to glitch on a hard glitch. They rolled 8 ones and no 5s or 6s on 17 dice. and that is forever. It burned in my memory of like, wow, dice can really just hate you. That was hateful.
Yeah.
All of those dice needed to go to jail.
Yeah, that was not
love you.
Not a curse. And the player at that point was like, I could spend edge, but I'm not gonna, because I've angered someone and I deserve whatever's coming to me. Which I think was a smart move, honestly, karmically wise.
Sometimes the story's going to do what the story's going to do.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so your 11 is boosted to a 12 if, and this is important because you want it to be boosted to a 12. The DC wasn't stated at the beginning, but let's boost this to a 12 if we can.
Okay.
As you're climbing up and you get past the first few, your I think you said you have those big, thick, like elephant kind of feet, right? Like big, round,
Yes.
Yeah. Actually interesting that elephants in real life basically walk on their toes, and they're quite precise. There's
a huge ball of fat.
Yeah,
and they're all
under
their
the
toes.
heel bone. Yeah,
yeah, all
they're
their
in
toes
high
rest
heels
on it.
basically.
Yeah, fantastic calves.
Yes, the fanciest.
Yeah.
So you actually, you're like putting your toes in the right place. You're just big, right? You're just, and that you get about 20 feet off the ground, and one of those ledges just gives, right? You slide, and if you're okay with this happening, the rope, unbeknownst to you, as you've been climbing, the tail end of it has been wrapping around your waist. Like the slack of the rope has been gathering as you went higher and higher up. And when you fall, and assume to your death, because I mean, even a 20-foot fall, the square law of acceleration applies. The rope stops your fall within inches. You barely get going. So it also doesn't like squeeze your guts. And you are able to reset yourself. You're like, I didn't really tell the rope to do that. And reset on your climb.
I love rope.
Are you just
and I will do more to take care of it, because I think I've now been gifted something with more sentience than I originally thought. And so it is no longer just a tool, but something to be appreciated and respected. So I'm fascinated to see where this relationship takes me.
That does sound like something
this
wild.
rope is the best boy.
It sounds like something wild that an old one's warlock would start talking about, and other people would go like, okay, yeah, it's your pet rope. That's fine. We're not going to argue with you. So yeah, you get to the top, scrabble over. Is this a graceful dismount? Are you like heaving and roll onto your back at the top? Like what is this scene?
Oh, it's absolutely not great. So first thing first is that over the ledge they see the trunk come over
yeah,
and like try to feel for a spot, and then it's like one leg kind of comes up and slides back down. One leg comes up and slides back down, and then I finally get a grip and then just roll over. Take a big deep breath and say, "Thank you, rope. Thank you." And I just start petting it.
It's probably your imagination, but it seems like you got an affectionate squeeze around your middle.
Oh.
But it's
Haven't
probably
had one of those in a while.
You're kind of all wrapped up, so
yeah. And I'm gonna gently start uncoiling it, cleaning off like all the leaves and rocks and dirt, and just generally like, and then trying to find a good spot in my bag for it where it's comfy.
Sure. As you're doing so, there's nothing to distinguish it from a normal rope. It's just a loose length of hemp. So
yeah, hemp's legal here.
You were a loose length of hemp.
Thank you.
face is a loose length of hemp.
Okay. All right.
Doing all right there, Ventuz?
I am now.
shot him.
I would prefer to minimize the amount of climbing that we do in the future.
Sure.
However, I love rope. Rope is friend.
Cool. I'm just kind of like I kind of look back at Zay and go, you think he's okay?
I just shrug. It's like, it's a good rope.
You get weird attachments every once in a while.
You know, sure. But same though.
Alaebas offer Ventuz some water. Look like a struggle.
I take it and then I do it with my trunk and then like clean myself off.
Oh, gross.
So, where in relation to where we came up is the maintenance shed?
It would be north of you if you have the map open.
I do.
You came up in, so there's a little bit of a divot directly south of the S.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You came up right at the point of that divot in the train line. That's the cliff that you're on.
Oh, okay. So, like, we're at that little, like, the point of the V.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's directly north of the H. You didn't come, like, 50 miles in your boat. You just went straight across from Trollenport. You're at that little notch directly above the H.
Okay, yeah.
So you are, maybe a few miles from the maintenance shed. You could walk along the cliffside to get there. You could go through the forest. It's entirely up to you. However, the wind is picking up and it is already starting to rain. The forest is very thick here, and you're basically not going to get rained on in the forest. And
there's cover in there.
Mm-hmm, that's true.
I like the idea of the forest. I don't want, like, any passing trains to see us walking along the coastline over here.
Yeah, although keep in mind, those trains go like, what do we say, like 100 miles an hour or something?
Yes, they go really fast, but at the same time, like, still.
Okay.
Like, it's the kind of thing people might remark on.
Oh, yeah, totally. I wanted to make the choices available and clear that you all should decide that.
To
I'm
get
all
out
in
of this-
favor of not being seen even in passing.
Yeah, and the forest will provide cover from this weather.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not made of sugar, but I don't love getting wet if I'm not intending to.
Yep.
All right, I'll also start going towards the forest.
Okay. You notice this forest does not give a fuck that it's autumn, and it is it is this like lush evergreen. So in the Pacific Northwest, in the Olympic Mountains, there's a coniferous rainforest. It like gets so much rain that it's classified as a rainforest, but it's like evergreens and ferns. It's how I picture the Shimmerwood Forest. And that's what you've got here is this dark green environment. And as you approach Alaebas, unless you want to do something about it, your armor is gradually adjusting to be this darker, more lush green. It's not like you would fade into the woods. You'd have to make some effort to do that. But your armor is like, oh, it must be spring.
Okay.
Spring, summer together. Your armor is confused, and it has this like mottled sort of darker green effect. Unless you're like, no, it's still autumn. Calm down. You have some control over that.
For those just joining us, or for someone who obviously didn't forget what happened to his armor, what does his armor do?
Oh, it changes with the seasons.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think that because like it's leafy, like the way the armor's scaled is it looks leafy. So then like you see like a flush of color start going through the leaves to the tips, like going from the brown to the green.
Mm-hmm.
It's like as he's getting closer to the forest.
Yeah.
And one thing he does do is like when he gets to like the tree line, like he goes and like he just kneels down in front of one of the trees and just starts saying like a small prayer.
Oh, okay. Who are we praying to?
I don't think we ever picked a god, but whoever his forest god is, right? Just for like safe passage and for the health of the forest.
One second.
God of forest, god of like what's his what alignment?
We'd be using someone from the sovereign host.
Okay.
And
so not like a Coralon.
Possibly. Wait, why is this not showing me what I want? This is...
How do you feel about the color silver?
Let's see. So, yeah, the Sovereign Host, plants and weather is covered by ROI, and she's the neutral good. Her weapon's the Morning Star. However, the Sovereign Host, as a general, is actually like longsword is their symbol. So your longsword fits with whatever. Balinor is air, animal, earth, that kind of stuff, but is neutral. So it kind of depends on how much aligned you are with good versus neutral. We're not really doing evil characters in this campaign. Or lawful versus chaotic, which is a pretty acceptable scale. There's law, neutral, and chaos. Chaos being mostly like chaotic good, for listeners, because I'm sure you know. Chaotic good means somebody who will do what they think is right. They're going to do the good thing, even if it means breaking a law to do it. So they're not concerned with following the rules, but they're going to do good stuff. Whereas lawful good is trying to do the right thing, but isn't going to break rules to do it, or at least not very easily. So somebody like Boldre is the lawful good, spear of the law and protection and community and all that stuff. So those are...
what was the first one?
Probably ROI, plants and weather, neutral good.
Okay, I'll take that one.
Okay, that's ARAWAI. You could put that into your Google, and don't smoke it. That's actually, she would probably approve.
I mean,
we did it.
Yeah.
It seems wrong to kink shame.
Yeah. I mean, she is all about having a smoke, I think, when it's yeah, cool. So the you say a prayer to ROI as you approach the woods, and you just immediately feel this this connection. Like, this is a place that knows who ROI is, and ROI knows what this place is. You didn't just have a direct conversation with her, but you are connected, right? You feel that connection right away. And these woods are neither good or evil. They're full of wild animals and all kinds of other stuff, but the prayer is done. And I'm going to apply for free. Everyone will be under the effect of the bless spell for now, which is actually, Alaebas, do you have that on your spell list?
I sure.
Where do you put conditions? Oh, there.
Yeah, where do you?
Hold on, I'll just tell you what it does. It's
and it's not in here anyway. So
yeah, it's not a condition. It's just you're under the effects of the spell bless.
Got it.
Yeah, so all four of you have an extra D4 to add when you're making an attack roll or saving throw. And so you can't add it to damage roll, you can't add it to skill checks, but attack roll, saving throw, yes, yeah. And I'm also fine with you adding it after the fact, but before I tell you if it's a success or failure, right? So you could roll your regular dice, get the 13 or sort of midland result and go like, I'm not sure if that's going to be a success or not, and decide to roll your extra d4. Once you use it, it's up. The normal duration is a minute, but you all feel this effect on you, and you know, like, this is a substantial effect, and it is not going to be gone in 1 minute. It is actually RY. No, you're not RY. You're Alaebas. Alaebas, will you roll your religion skill, please?
Uh-oh. It's not too good at religion.
Yeah, that's a +0.
That is an 11.
Okay. I think the information stands as is.
Can someone just assume I made a really good REM reference?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, cool. Thank
is
you.
anyone proficient in the Arcana skill? I'm not going to just let everyone roll it, but if you're proficient in Arcana.
I am.
I am.
Oh, okay. So both of you can roll.
I got a nat 20.
Oh, Lord.
Nice.
Wow, well done. I got an 18 plus 3.
Oh, and 18 is
Remember-
also a crit success. Remember,
I
our
feel like I
crit
should-
range is the bottom 3 and top 3 with the 2d10. That's
So
Oh,
it's
that's true. So
20,
I
19,
took
18. Okay.
I took the easy way out of crit success. Pooja did it the hard way.
You just had to be different from me.
I mean, but, yeah, Pooja's was
Facts.
better than yours, that's for sure.
You were like, oh.
Same
Let us
result.
be clear. Pooja killed it.
Yeah. Okay, so 2 critical successes. Normally, you don't get a critical success on skill checks. We're not going to go bonkers with this. However, I'm just going to give the both of you the very clear understanding that you are under the effect of the Bless spell until you have used it twice or sunset, because the sun just came up. And so whichever comes first. If you use Bless twice, you've used it up. Or when the sun sets, this blessing will also fade. So you two are able to just recognize the sort of the meat of this magical effect that is on you, even though it's a divine source magic. You just have a sense of how magic works. And honestly, Ventuz, your magic is sort of nebulous as to whether it's arcane or divine anyway. So as a reminder, audience, Ventuz is playing a warlock, and they are arcane magic in the book, and we have a pretty loose relationship with the book's rules. So that's, I know, we're all shocked. We're shocked and saddened by this news.
Shocked and horrified.
Mm-hmm.
Can we say that that the soul inside my ring gave me the down low on this?
Oh, it whispered it to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also taunted me about it, about how I needed the help, and that Bless wouldn't necessarily save me, but I could use all the help I could get.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Is this something you want to bring up in conversation at all? Is there something you can? So I think also, if this is okay with you, Zay, your ring gets real cold, and you're like, wait, what? And then you pull it up to your ear to listen to it. Is that okay?
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. I can kind of like I'm rubbing, almost like I have a headache and I'm kind of rubbing my temple. So it pulls the ring right in contact, like with the side of my face.
Yeah, I like that. So are either of you going to bring up this information?
I'll thank Alaebas.
Okay.
And I just say, like, whatever advantage we can get I'm sure it'll be helpful. Thank you.
ROI is generous with her fortune.
I think
Wait,
you're going to
what's
say
happening?
favors. Oh my god.
Nick says, "Wait, what's happening? What's happening? Do I need to do something?
No, you'll be fine.
Oh, cool.
The 4 of you pass into the forest and make your way south. It's only going to be a mile or so, I think. but you know, it's a little bit hard going. There's no path here. There's no easy trail. But like you said, you wanted to get in far enough to have cover from the train and cover from the weather. And within 10 minutes or so of walking, you hear the rain coming, and there's little bits of water dripping down to you, but it's not nearly the same as what's happening outside of the forest right now. You even hear some thunder, and it is it's darker than when you went in the forest. It's now like 9 a.m. at this point. By the time you all climbed up and got ready to go in the forest, and got all situated and ready to go, it's 9 a.m. and it's darker than when you set out at dawn. It seems like so. Anything?
I just kind of go, oof, I'm really, really glad we got into, we this happened after we got off the rope.
Okay.
Yes, that would not have gone well.
No. Climbing ropes when they're wet is very difficult.
Although I
In
think
fact,
rope would have made it easier.
Possibly, but I'm actually concerned about our trip down the cliff now. Well, about your
your
trip.
rope is a
I'll
very
be
good
fine.
rope. But that's why we have the wand, right? So
True.
Okay. Ventuz and Alaebas, your passive perceptions are enough to notice something that's happening. Nyx and Zay are not picking up on this. So you hear a movement in the trees above you. It's hard to tell exactly what it is. If you want to roll investigation, we could try to get more information, but that would take the place of giving some sort of, if you feel like you want to give a warning or something. I'm going to let you decide what you do with this time.
I don't inherently think things are dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
That's not been my experience in life. So, and I'm naturally very curious, so I would rather roll the investigation.
Okay, and what will Alaebas do?
Can Alaebas substitute survival for investigation to try to get a beat like he's tracking something? Or would that be nature?
No, survival is the right thing. Yeah, we can do survival. That's fine.
Okay.
And Ventuz, you can choose whichever one's better.
Investigation it is.
Okay.
And I roll it with advantage
Why is that?
because there's a giant A next to it on my D&D Beyond.
Whoa.
And when I hover over it, it says advantage.
I was going to say, what does it mean?
I wonder why, though. What is that from?
My proficiencies, maybe?
Or maybe it's one of your items. Or
Be one of your items.
Awakened Mind, Pact Boon.
Yeah, maybe it's whatever. It's on there. I'm fine with you rolling advantage.
Oh, because of my keen smell.
Oh, yes, smell would apply to this situation.
that makes
Yes.
sense.
Yeah. So,
Yes. Peachy keen.
let's see. It looks like Alaebas, what's your total there?
14.
14. Okay, that's pretty good. And Ventuz,
That would be a 17.
17. Very good. The 14, Alaebas, is enough that you're not going to be surprised when this happens, but
Okay.
it took you long enough. You're like, the DC was 15, right? So you were trying to like, I think there's something up there. But Ventuz, you will be able to do a full.
Hey, Jason, real quick before you tell me anything else, I mathed wrong.
Okay.
I heard Eli say 14, so I added my bonus to 14 instead of 12, so I should be at a 15.
Yeah, 15 is fine. 15 was
Okay.
the number. So you but thank you for double checking that. Ventuz, you see the phase spider drop out of the tree and then disappear on its way to the floor. of the forest, basically behind where the four of you are hiking. But like you're just like what a phase spider is, or like I think you've probably seen them on the plains before. And it makes, I think its phase makes like an ionic sort of puff that is a distinguishable smell. You're like, oh, that stinks like phase spider.
It's like that ozone kind of deal. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Are we saying Fey spider, face biter, phase spider?
Phase, Phase, spider.
Okay, cool.
Thank you for clarifying. Claire.
I'm sure she's never heard that before.
Never once.
Brand
It's
new.
Mother's
the
Day.
first
Can we lay
time.
off the dad jokes?
What a brand yeah, like if there was a day to take it easy, that feels fair. Ventuz, Ventuz and Alaebas. Actually, everybody can make a nature check right now.
Nature check.
Because I assume Ventuz is going to go, face spider.
Oh, crap.
At
I
least I get
surely didn't
something.
do it.
Oh, Alaebas, no.
1 second. I accidentally, when I was trying to
I even
switch
had that
tabs,
skill.
16.
Can somebody just
16.
roll for me real quick while I
Yeah.
find...
You got a total of 9 plus your nature skill.
So 9.
Okay. Who got 14 and up?
Me.
Okay, you two will know that, or at least your instinct is that phase spiders don't travel in ones. They're almost always in pairs.
Okay.
So,
They walk in a line to hide their numbers.
yes.
As soon as I realize that, I say, "Where's the other one?"
Well,
Somebody get eyes on the other one.
Ventuz, you are going to get to take a turn. Everybody else is in a surprise round. And that means you will be able to, let me just double check the rules on that. You cannot move or take an action on your first turn. And you cannot take a reaction as well when it's not your turn. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But after this, you'll be able to take your turn. So let's all roll initiative like normal. Even if you have a high initiative, that's fine. You just don't get to do anything on your turn. Unless you have something that helps you fight against surprise. Surprise.
14.
Okay.
11.
For Zay. 11. For
8.
Ventuz. 8. For Alaebas. Nix.
What was my total roll? 6.
6?
6.
Okay. 6 for
I
Nix.
should have never disparaged the robot overlords on these dice.
Yeah. That was rude.
Yeah.
I, for
They
one,
can hear you.
I, for
They're
one,
the robot overlords.
I welcome our robot overlords. Oh, well, that's not a great role for face biter. Now I'm just going to say it a different way every
Yeah,
time.
can
I
we
was about to
say
say, I was
can
like,
we
that was
call-
face spider that time.
So I would have put spiders in the veil if I had had a little more time today.
Okay.
So if we can make them face spiders, that'd be great.
Yeah. No. They could totally be something else. These can be, what if they're beetles? Is that
Right.
just as bad?
That's it's arachnids specifically that I have a phobia of.
Okay. Is everyone okay with beetles?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, John Paul, George, or Ringo.
All right. Thank you for saying that, Claire.
Ringo.
That's a great use of X card to,
Thank you.
yeah, let's not have that yucky feeling all the time. These are I'll come up with a clever name for them, but they are a type of beetle that never travels alone, and
You're a
is
beetle, I don't know.
dropping out of the
beetle.
sky. It is
They're love beetles.
it-
They're love
Beetle
face
buddies.
beetles.
all right. It is important to understand that these beetles are the size of a horse, and when they drop out of the tree, their wings pop out of the carapace, and it makes a noise like a B-52 bomber. and it's really only able to land itself, right? Like if this thing tried to, like it's just too heavy, right? But it just comes down to this, and it's now much more noticeable to everyone. I think I'm going to switch their skill from stealth to athletics, and that'll make more sense. But
Can we make it a praying mantis instead? I'm sorry.
oh yeah, anyone have a problem with praying mantis?
Sorry. Beetles apparently, like, they're not my thing, but I guess they're close enough to the thing I just added to the sheet that it's freaking me out.
No, that's I would rather know. I'm not bothered by that at all. Please say so if something's upsetting.
I'm totally good with praying mantis because it makes me think of that one episode of Buffy, and that's funny to me.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, oh god, that mental image is gonna stay.
No,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Everyone good with the praying mantis?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I heard all yeses. These dark green praying mantis come leaping out of the tree, but creating that distinctive ozone scent of them phasing, and it is on 14 on Zay's turn. You are surprised. Oh wait, my initiative is 9. Mantis. Okay. And Ventuz on 11, you are not surprised. So, what are you going to do about it?
I can do a full action?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How far away are they?
They're probably about, well, they're invisible, which is the real problem.
Shoot. I actually didn't want to harm them. I just wanted them to go away. If that's the case, then...
Oh, wait, what was your nature check?
My nature check was... Hold on, let me go make sure I did it. An 11 plus nature... Oh, no, 11 was... Hold on. I want to make sure I get it right. 15 plus... it's 16.
Oh, okay. So it's more accurate to say that they... it's sort of like the lore of... oh my gosh, the blue X-Men teleporter.
Oh,
Nightcrawler?
Nightcrawler. They're passing through, but they go to the ethereal plane and then come back to this plane where they want to be. So technically they are crossing the distance and they're not invisible, but they've plane shifted. And so it's that may be an important distinction for what you want to do.
So they're both gone, though.
You only ever saw one.
I only ever saw one, and it is gone.
Yes.
Let me just...
But the idea that one would be traveling by itself feels preposterous.
Correct. I have to be able to see this target in order to cause fear. So I'm not going to do that.
Are you sure it doesn't say a target that can see you?
Well, let's see. It's one... Let's see. Target... I mean, it doesn't get that specific.
Okay. Then, you probably have to see the target. Most
yeah,
spells require you to see the target.
That's why I was assuming that. So at this point, I'm actually just going to
you can also,
take out my... Go ahead.
You can ready an action.
That's exactly what I was going to do.
Okay.
And so so I just have a quarterstaff, and I'm just kind of like looking around. And as soon as I see one, though, I want to ready to convince it to go elsewhere.
Okay.
AKA cause fear.
All right, you're readying cause fear. Okay, that's good. I like that sort of swirling potential energy. It is now the mantis' turn, and they're going to appear, and it is, I think your readied action goes first. So let's go ahead and do that.
Okay, please make a saving throw, wisdom-based, of 13. But you can roll lower than 13. Like, that's suggested.
I see.
in text.
Did you say dex based?
Yes, but I use the alternative version of Dex called Wisdom.
Okay. Well, I got a 14 on the dice, so
I hate you
we're good.
passionately.
Is there an effect on a successful save?
Oh no.
Okay.
No.
So the thing turns and chitters at the sound of your spell casting, and you get this sense, this otherworldly communication. I doubt that you speak this thing's language, but you get the thing of like, I should be afraid of you. You should be afraid of me. And it's like mandibles open up, and it's just horrible. And
Well, mine was just more of like a, can you please go away? Like, just don't bother us. That's kind of like, I was trying to shoo it away.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like penetrate its mind for like, and show it the horrors of the world.
Okay. Well, you
Now,
didn't. So
good. Both of us are on the same page.
Okay. And this one is going to, change direction and come after you, because that seems like the right thing to do since you offended it. Let's see. I get to do that.
You implied that it was a lesser fearful thing that you were.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes great offense.
Mm-hmm.
Unintentionally.
It does not matter if the offense is intended for the offense to be taken.
Yes.
That's fair. That is very true.
And you were not surprised, so I'm not going to have advantage on this. How about a 7? Oh, well, actually, it's an 11 to hit your AC.
Ooh. Nope.
Okay.
Suck it.
And the other one appears behind you with advantage. Does a 14 hit you?
A 14 is the number to which thou shalt be hit.
Okay. So then we're going to need to roll a...
14 shall be the number thou shalt count, and thou shalt not skip 14.
Oh, whoops, I almost rolled 1d20 for damage. That's... okay, so you're going to take 8 damage, and you're going to have to make a Constitution saving throw. And that is something you can use your bless on if you end up feeling like you want to.
Okay, it's a con saving throw?
Yeah. Every time.
Every time.
Oh, that's very bad. That is, in fact, in crit fail range.
Ooh.
On the dice, actually. So I'm going to just go ahead and take that and not let you waste your bless.
Yeah, good. I
Okay.
wasn't going to use bless anyway, because if the computer hates me that much, then the computer hates me that much.
Honestly, a 4, even if you got a 4 on a d4, you're not even close to succeeding on a save. Crit fail, you turn to sort of shoo this other thing away, take a step back directly into the grasp of this other one standing over you as it like chomps into your thick neck, and it's not literal poison, but you feel out of phase. Like you feel this, ethereal effect in your veins that you're a solid boy and you don't want to be ethereal, right? So that's not great. My.
So, Rob, you're dead.
That's a lot.
Let's move
Roll
on.
up a new character.
That's
Yeah.
a lot, gang. That's 18 poison damage.
Holy shit!
Is that all of it?
No, not quite.
Okay.
Not quite. That's good. That's good, though. Oh, I love that.
Okay.
Oh, what? Hold on. What's the rule that if you take a certain amount of shock, do you have to roll isn't there like a, if you take a certain amount of
I think
damage?
that's an old D&D rule. I'm not aware of it in this version if it does exist.
Okay.
Okay. So, So I'm also going to apply, as your crit fail, I'm going to apply a partial component of this in that you're not, you don't have the paralyzed condition, but your legs are not cooperating. Like you're stuck in place. Okay.
Okay.
You could cast spells and talk and do other stuff, but you're not going to be able to move. And it's not even that this thing is holding you in place. I mean, it is bigger than you. It's a large size creature, and you're just at the upper end of medium. It's not holding you in place. It's your legs have said, no, this is fine here. We're not going anywhere. Thank you. They're starting to fade away like Marty McFly.
Oh, class of 1985. All right. Cool.
Alaebas, you see Ventuz is flanked by these two giant mantis, and it is your turn.
But what can I do as my actions again? Because I'm surprised, right? Or
were you in the surprise group?
I'm pretty sure I was.
No, because you noticed. Oh, that's right. You're in the half surprise where I wasn't going to have advantage to attack you, but I'll say if you want to take a move action, that would be okay. But yeah, you're not going to be able to like cast spells or do an attack.
Can I do lay hands on since it's not necessarily going after the spiders?
Yeah, sure. You could run over there.
So do I just minus it out?
Yeah. How many hit points do you want to give him?
I'll give him 10.
Okay. Yep, that's how lay on hands works. Yeah, that's
And
great.
this is why you bring a paladin.
I'm now almost a half.
Jeez.
Oh, yeah. Okay, this is a lot. Okay, that brings us to Nyx, who I think was also surprised.
I was surprised,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, then we go back to the top with Zay.
Fantastic. So
Now you're just horrified, but not surprised.
I mean, like you do.
Yeah.
I am going to use my Chaos Bolt using my Aberrant Dragon Mark.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a ranged spell attack.
But you're gonna have to get up close to do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I just have to be within 5 feet, right? So I'm going to get within 5 feet.
Yeah, 5 feet is melee range.
Yes.
So that's fine. For audience who's new to this class, the Blade Soul Sorcerer, all their spell ranges are reduced to touch or 5 feet if they were more than touch in the first place.
Can I? Sorry, I'm still trying to figure out like what my actions all are.
Mm-hmm.
So Chaos Bolt is would be my action. My move would be to
run over there.
And then can I use my bonus action to draw my rapier?
Yeah. Usually that's like a move action, but whatever, it's fine.
Okay.
And are you running over to the one that is grabbing Ventuz or the other one?
I will go to the other one.
Okay.
Because a lot of the things I can do would be bad for both of them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's Mantis holding Ventuz, and the other one, they're like, in if we had a map, they would be 3 squares in a row.
Yeah.
And so
it would be best if I came across like I'm flanking. Like if you imagine Ventus on one side and I come in to like flank the second Mantis though, because really like no one wants, if that Mantis is holding him, no one wants to deal with the things that I'm going to attempt to do.
Okay.
While they're being held. Also, I'm assuming that like one portion of Ventus is covered by Alaebas. Because he just laid on hands, right?
He's at his side, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's fine. Yeah, you go to the other Mantis. You reach out to do your spell attack. So we can roll with your spell attack modifier.
Cool. So my spell attack is +5. This is 2d10. So that's 14.
Yeah, that hits.
And then the target takes 2d8 plus 1d6. So, Oh, that's the wrong. There we go. 2d8 plus 1d6. 15 points of damage.
Okay, and then you got a 4 and a 5 on your d8s. So what type of damage was that?
So it's going to be lightning. We're in a
Okay.
storm. This sounds apropos.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. You short range lightning blasts out of your hand and into this thing for what was that? 15 damage, which is quite a bit. This thing is blasted. It turns away from Ventuz and is much more focused on you.
Great.
Oh.
And as my free action, I am going to absolutely I'm going to turn to Ventuz and be like, "You fucking idiot! What are you doing? Could you please be useful for once?"
Whoa, rough. Okay.
Oh,
I'm
Damn.
All right.
I'm confused.
We'll come back to that. We're in the heat of battle.
For our, I guess for our people once again who miss character creation, when I use my aberrant dragon mark, my mood shifts.
Yeah. Awesome.
Right.
So the other thing I should say, I used the word flanking earlier. We are not using the flanking rules. That's an optional add-on in the rulebook that is pretty OP. So we don't use that. I just meant literally standing on either side of Ventuz. So,
Which is good because I really don't. Flanking has never been my thing. I don't do rogues.
Well, and it was also just ridiculous. It was in playtesting, and everyone went "Wow, this is a lot. I don't know if you want this," and so they pulled it as a core rule. But that takes us back to Ventuz. You cannot leave the spot you're standing in. You've got Mantis to the left and Mantis to the right.
I'm stuck in the middle
with twos.
with Zay. So here's a question for you, Jason. If I have something that batters all creatures within 10 feet of me,
Mhm.
does that include friendly creatures?
Yeah, you would hit Alaebas and Zay in that. Is it all creatures out from you or in a direction?
It's 10 feet in a circle.
In radius?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Then yes, that would hit them.
Okay.
Is it a 10-foot circle or is it a 10-foot diameter?
It's all it's a 10 foot radius from me all the way around.
Yeah.
So basically centered on me 10 feet out in a circle.
Oh, so a 20-foot diameter circle. That's awesome.
Yeah, it would be 25 on a map because you don't count your square, so it would be 2 in each direction.
Yeah.
So-
Okay. Then I won't do that despite some darker voices telling me to exert my power over those that call into question my power. Instead, I will just Eldritch Blast the one that took the giant bite out of me.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, you just have to just turn and look at it. It's still sort of grabbing onto you, but that's pretty easy. Actually, so the downside is doing a ranged attack will have disadvantage in melee. So, I mean, I don't think you have a lot of other options, but you'll have to roll with disadvantage.
Okay. So then this is oh man, this is going to get weird. Stupid macros. Okay. So let's roll to hit first then. So 10 plus
Your
5 is
spellcasting?
15.
Oh yeah, that's a hit.
Yep. Okay. And then hold on. See if I do this right. 7 damage.
Okay. Yeah, you blast it. It's still kind of grabbing onto you, but yep, no problem. You don't have a move action. Do you have a bonus action?
No.
Okay. It is Mantis' turn. The mantis holding on to you, Ventuz, hisses and is just going to try to slash at you.
Okay.
How does reactions work?
They are things you can do when it's not your turn. And so, like now, if the mantis is doing something that triggers a reaction, you could take a reaction. You only get one until it's back to your turn again.
Okay.
And there are a few. So one thing that everyone can do is if somebody leaves your threatened space, you can make the attack of opportunity. But if you use your reaction to, flip up a wall or whatever your reaction says, then you will not be able to take an attack of opportunity until it's your turn again. Right? Does that make sense? All of those things that you do when it's not your turn uses your reaction, and you only get one reaction per round.
Then Alaebas is going to try to step in and shield bash it using the reaction of protection. And it says, while wielding the shield and the creature you can see attacks a target other than you within 5 feet, you can use your reaction to oppose disadvantage on the attack roll.
Yes. Okay, I will roll with disadvantage. Yep, that's worse. Okay, so I don't think an 11 is going to hit you. Right? Rob?
Oh, me? Sorry, I thought you were still talking to Eli. No, an 11 does not hit me.
Okay, yeah, so now here's my question. Would a 13 hit you?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, still, it looked cool. So that
It did.
Yeah.
That shield came in, you knocked that mantis off balance, and it was not able to slash into Ventuz, who is clearly stuck in place. I think it's pretty obvious for everyone that he's in bad shape. So
I look straight at Zay and I go, "Thank you, Alaebas."
Okay.
I take my free action to make a rude gesture.
The other mantis, is the one that was attacked by Zay and is going to attack Zay in return. And that will be a 17 to hit.
That does hit.
Okay.
And I'll
go ahead and make your Constitution saving throw.
Cool.
She's like, cool, great, I'm so
18.
excited.
What, 18?
Yeah, my con saving
yeah, that'll
is
do
plus
it.
4.
That's good.
Yep.
You're good.
Yay!
So I'm sorry, I rolled max damage. You get 12 on the attack, 12 damage. That's piercing damage, but you shrug off the effects of the poison. So
that's 12 damage?
Yeah, so you take that out of your temp hit points first, and then
so I am going to use my action, my arcane riposte.
Is that a reaction?
It is.
Okay.
And I am going to spend a sorcery point to deal force damage to the attacker equal to half the damage I received.
So it's a I know I am, but what are you?
Yeah.
Situation. Okay.
Nice.
So you took 12, so they take 6. Oh no.
Yes.
I just wrote down 6 instead of 15 plus 6. Okay. So
sorcery things.
yeah, that one's in pretty bad shape as this sort of energy is released and blasted back at the thing. Cool. And it doesn't move. It's happy to stay there in the fight. And it is Alaebas' turn.
He's going to swing at the one on Ventuz.
Yeah. Okay.
That is a 19 on the dice. So then, how do we?
Oh,
right.
What you've got there is the first number is the 11.
Oh, duh.
That's
So,
your that's your to hit with bonus and everything. So total to hit is 11. And then it would have been 8 damage if you hit. So that's what all of that
Robot
means.
overlords.
But
Not.
the 11 is a miss, so we're not going to be able to do that one.
If you hadn't insulted them, obviously.
Do you have a second attack or anything at this level?
Yeah, to gaze angrily at the
Okay.
praying mantis.
What about a bonus action?
Gaze extra hard.
Yeah, dirty looks are logged. Yeah. Mantis will remember this.
Nope.
Mantis
Because
always-
my other one is I have to use my attack action for it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. We got bad luck on that one. Then it's Nyx's turn. Well, and I should say before we do that, you are clashing with this thing, right? It's just it has these long sort of scythe-like forearm blades that it's fighting you and Ventuz at the same time, and Ventuz isn't much of a melee danger, so it's just fighting both of you at the same time and deflecting your blows and trying to get at you, and it's a lot of back and forth there.
I can also see it like kind of like phasing in and out during the combat too, to make it like a little bit more crazy, because like Alaebas is like for sure thought that hit would ring true, but then like at the last moment it phases and he's like, oh no.
Yeah, that's a great look. I love that. Nyx, what are you up to?
So I have, what is the thing called? Cunning action, which gives me a bonus action in which I can dash, disengage, or hide for every turn. So I'm gonna go ahead and hide, and then I'm gonna sneak attack.
Yeah, because you're not already in melee, right? You're sort of.
I've just been kind of standing there going,
Yeah, you were just stuck and surprised. Okay, so
just like swearing in various languages.
Like roll back into the bushes to be hidden. So let's roll your hide, your stealth check.
Stealth check.
Versus my passive perception. Okay.
That'll be a 15.
Okay, it looks like they have lost track of you.
Okay. And then, so I don't know exactly who I was closest to or where or which one I'm closer to.
I imagined you were close to the back and you would be targeting the one that Zay has been fighting.
Okay, that's kind of what I was thinking. All right,
okay.
So I'm going to shoot that one with my crossbow.
Okay, it looks like you got an 18 on your crossbow attack.
Yes, and that's +5, so... Well, I guess 18 is a crit anyway.
It is a critical success, and we had agreed on the max damage setting. What is your sneak attack damage?
Oh, I have 2d6.
Okay, it's still 2d6, not 3?
Yeah.
Okay, I think it's about to go up to 3 next level.
Yeah, if it gets... yes, at the next level, it'll go up to 3.
So, the crossbow is what, a D8, D6?
1d8 plus 3.
Okay, so D8 plus 3 is 11, plus 12 is 23?
Yes.
Okay, yes. You roll back into the bushes, pop up with your crossbow, and just this one bolt, one kill. You hit it right between its beady mantis eyes, and the thing just collapses in a...
It exploded.
clattering pile of limbs, because it's hard exoskeleton,
Nice.
just collapses between.
I really think that she should have shot it in the foot just to like keep the trend going.
Except we wanted to kill this one, so.
We wanted to kill this one. This one's been hard. Or trying to.
Yeah.
Doing both.
Yes. Oh yeah, it's been successful. So.
Did you not notice that I had this?
Oh, she's sassy about it.
The grown-ups are fighting.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we were. And you kind of interrupted.
Okay.
One more of these things. Let's kind of keep it together here.
All right, Zay, it is back to your turn.
And talking's a free action. Talking shit is a double free action.
I am going to...
So you could step up to be... So right now, Ventuz and Alaebas are sort of squared off with the last one. You could step up on Ventuz's left side. That's how I'm picturing it. Is Ventuz is kind of facing off with this thing. Alaebas is on his right. That's one option of where you could be.
That's cool. I shall do that then.
Okay.
I am going to use Firebolt.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's roll your spell attack.
Yes. And yay for having made new macros. That's an 18.
Heck yeah. Okay. I think it's a D10 for that one.
It is. So it takes 10 points of damage.
Nice.
Oh, well, it's not a crit. Your dice are 13, and then you did your +5 for your stat. So,
you are right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I forgot. I was like, oh, macros.
Yeah.
And then I ultimately forgot what macros were.
No problem.
So I'll roll my damage. I got so excited.
I really like that this website, it breaks out the roll in pieces. So
it takes 8 points of damage.
Well,
so really, not that different.
That's pretty good. Yeah, this thing is half dead. So we're nearly there. So you had a move, you had what does it look like as you're doing these spell attacks that can't really leave your, how does that look?
I actually, the way I think about it is that, so I drew my rapier, and the spell, you see the, when I'm casting these kinds of spells, the Chaos Bolt was a glow from my Dragon Mark.
Mm-hmm.
This is you can start to see an energy signature coming up my rapier and springing forth from the tip of the rapier.
Using it like a wand.
Kind of, yeah. Except it's pointy and it glows in the dark.
Yeah.
So it's more like a lightsaber.
Yeah, I love it. That's great.
Yes.
And that would also be why it can't go that far, because it's coming
yeah.
I kind of do a little flick.
Uh-huh. And fire spatters off the end of it. I love it.
Yeah,
cool.
It doesn't seem like it would do that much. It's oh, that's so cute. Oh God, it hurts.
The burning. That's the trick with Firebolt, though, is you could get a 1 on your D10. It feels bad when you.
Yes. I'm just saying that I was really, really nice to our robot overlords today.
Do you have a bonus action?
It was poison damage that these guys were doing, right?
Well, when Ventuz failed the con check, he took poison damage. They were doing otherwise just piercing damage.
Cool. Yeah. No, I just wanted to double check.
Okay.
I am going to cast.
You can only cast one spell per turn.
Oh, you're right, because even with my bonus action, I can't cast again. So never mind, I'm fine.
I think there are some sorcerer point bonus actions, but if you think of one, just we can come back to it.
No, it's fine. I'm good for. I did my thing.
Okay.
And I talked smack, so I feel like my turn is done.
All right, that brings us back to Ventuz.
So the gentle thing in front of us looks a little toasty and bashed, and kind of messed up, but it's still basically right in 5-foot melee range.
It's
correct?
grabbing onto you, yeah.
It's still grabbing onto me.
Yeah, it's trying to bite you again.
It is trying to bite me again. Then in which case, instead of filling its mandibles with me, even though I am a succulent meat,
yep.
I would like to fill its mandibles with pieces of the dark void.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm going
It is full of a lot of screaming right now, so I think that's yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds on brand.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good place to have a summer home.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
This is like an unscream.
That's right. So just silence. So it's still a disadvantage, right?
Is it a ranged spell?
It's an Eldritch Blast.
Oh yeah, Eldritch Blast. Yeah, so you'll roll at disadvantage.
Okay.
Oh, unless you want to. Well, you can't disengage because that's your action. So
I have a question, and it's a
move my
tactical
legs.
question.
Okay, Eli.
Okay, so my bonus action is to do a master shove. was if you take your attack action on your turn, you can use a bonus action to try to shove a creature within 5 feet of you with their shield. So could I shove it out of his 5 feet?
When it's your turn, yeah.
So, but when tactically I would tell Rob to hold his action to see if the shield goes off, and then he could do it outside of the range.
I mean, you could say, like, hold on, I'm going to help you. The Mantis does go right after Ventuz, so I'll leave that up to Rob, whether you want to hold your action or...
Like, would you want me to do that or use the disadvantage? Well, because I could still technically use the disadvantage, right? Because it's a reaction.
No. It's a bonus action to do what you want to do.
Well, I have this one as a bonus action to shove it, and I have the reaction for the protection.
That's if it attacks him. So, yeah, I mean, that's...
Right.
So, Ventuz, what do you want to do?
If Alaebas is asking me to wait, I trust him.
Okay.
So I will ready an Eldritch Blast.
Okay. That makes sense. The Mantis is going to try to attack Ventuz. And so you wanted to use your reaction to apply disadvantage?
Right.
Eli?
Can you still use your bonus action if you use the reaction?
Yeah, because the reaction happens on not your turn. And
Gotcha.
then when your turn starts, you get your action move and bonus action.
Strategery.
And then
Well
at the
done.
end of your turn...
Swiss Army knifing it, guys.
Mhm.
Good job.
Okay, so I will roll with disadvantage. 17 is my worst roll, unfortunately.
Wow.
Sorry, Rob. Go ahead and make that con save. Well, actually, let me roll this damage first and see if you're dead.
Such a bastard.
Yeah. Oh, wait. I already rolled this one, so I should be able to. There it is. That's 10 damage.
Well, let's
Congratulations. This
Let's-
is some like stew level rolling here.
do that first.
This is actually a thing for me. Whenever I'm GMing, I roll like an absolute bastard. And
Yeah.
whenever I'm playing in a game, I'm just like...
I have the same problem when I GM. I roll natural 20s all the time, and I'm like, no, I don't want to roll that.
Yeah. Ventuz, what are you at health-wise?
I'm at 5 points.
Okay.
I was just expressing to the camera my delight and excitement at rolling a 21 con check
Okay.
save.
Yeah.
And
so that critical success, that's the other thing you got to tell me is that's a crit, right? You rolled 19 on the dice.
I keep forgetting it's a crit. If
Yeah.
it's not 20, it's...
Yeah, we'll get used to it. The crit success, I'm also going to wipe out the your legs are stuck. You can move your legs again. And yeah, you throw off that the extra damage doesn't happen. Oh, actually, I think it says half damage on a successful save. Okay, so on your crit, I'm not going to have you take half, but somebody else had a successful con save.
I did.
You did. Okay, so I'm gonna roll that and give you the half damage.
That makes her more angry at me.
Yeah,
Because
I know.
on my turn, I get hurt and she gets damage. How
All
does
right.
this work?
You take 6 poison damage.
Blame Eli. Just, I
My
don't know
bad.
why. There's
I
no
blame
reason.
you all.
I'll take it.
It's cool. I'm just real angry right now.
This is great.
That's
I love
fair.
it. Okay.
It's all bad and it's all your fault.
And I don't know whether she's talking in character or not.
You know what,
That's
Rob?
the best part.
I think for your crit, we'll give you quarter damage. 0 just seems like a big pull.
Let me translate
I
for
mean,
the
it
listeners
wasn't
at home.
crit.
You know, Rob,
Jason.
I don't want you to live to see next turn.
Well, I rolled a 19 on the damage dice. A quarter of that would be 5.
So, Jason, I'm not super good at math. Can you help me out here? If I have 5 and I take away 5, what does that leave me with?
55.
Yeah, done.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay, so Ventuz is slightly down. That poison was in you, and your legs buckled, and as this thing sort of knocks you out of the way to then focus on fighting Alaebas and Zay.
He took out the soft target first.
Yeah.
The thick, soft target.
Always take out the caster first. Okay, so that takes us to Alaebas' turn.
Well, that's crappy. I'm gonna swing at it
Okay.
with to try to avenge my ivory tusk friend.
And I'm gonna shout, heal the squishy dude. We got this.
Yeah, you can use lay on hands instead if you want to, but
I'm
that's a
gonna
pretty
kill it real
good roll.
And then I'm gonna use a spell slot for Divine Smite. Hopefully, I made this macro right.
Oh, okay. That's totally fine. I do want you to tell me if you're using that before you roll.
Oh.
Which it doesn't use it up if you miss, but I just want to know ahead of time that you're casting a spell.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
It's not really a spell, I don't think. It's like a feature.
Yeah. Okay. I'll double check the rules on that.
All right.
Did you roll damage on that?
I think I made the macro wrong.
Yeah, it looks like you've got 9 damage from the sword, and then you're going to do the whatever that extra damage is. You just have to roll that separately. Yeah, Divine Smite.
Yeah, I'm trying to be smarter than the computer, and I'm
you
not.
know what? No, I'm wrong. You're doing this right. When you hit with a melee attack, you can spend a spell slot to deal an extra D8 damage. So yeah, you're absolutely right.
Oh. So an extra 14 damage.
You have 2d8 at this level?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Holy moly, that's a lot. So you did 9 plus 14?
Yep.
Nice.
That sounds like
Dude.
23.
Well done. I mean, if you're using new math.
Yeah.
That's okay. So, Rob, help me out with the math here. If I have 32 hit points and have taken 38 damage, what does that put me at?
You're just fine.
Okay.
You're probably okay, actually.
Way to get
You're
that.
at -6.
Way to get the brand
could be
in there.
wrong.
Okay, so both the mantidae,
And Ventuz?
mantidnesses.
Manti.
Manchurian candidates.
Yes, the two
prayers.
Manchurian candidates are down, and we
Now I'm hungry.
a quiet settles over the forest as all the animals. You didn't even realize the sort of background noise that was happening, but the noise of the fight has sent all the animals either quiet or running. When it first broke out, the birds took off and little things were running through the shrubs, and now the fight's over. These two Manchurian candidates are just laying in the shrub, and there the 4 of you are, soon to be 3. Hey, just for funsies, Rob, let's make a death save, because that's what you were supposed to do on your turn.
Okay, and so that's a regular...
Just a 2d10.
Just 2d10. That's a 17.
Okay, that is 1 success towards your death save, but I think you're about to get healed. So, who's going to heal?
I have 10 points of healing left for the day, y'all. So.
Which is 10 more points than I have to give you.
All
I
right.
don't have any healing. Yeah.
Actually, that's not 100% true. Once you do your 10 points, I can do something else.
I did my 10 points.
Okay. What does that look like when you revive your friend, Alaebas?
I guess time would be of the essence, but he would have like some special like roots from the forest over in Valinor.
Mm-hmm.
And he would go and put that into the wound that the phase mantis left, and then he would just basically just like press it in, which probably wouldn't be too comfortable, but he's praying to it.
Yeah, try to
And
pull
that
the
kinda
poison
like-
out.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then basically just like root into his skin,
Oh,
and
nasty.
then
I
it
love
kind
it.
of like puts it. Yeah, so kind of like nasty, but like it's healing him, and like it mends the wound together.
Okay. Okay, good to know. 10 hit points are put into Ventuz. Ventuz, you gasp your way back to consciousness, laying in the scrub, and we are out of combat and in the quiet forest. What happens next?
I searched the bodies.
Okay. You have let's see how to incorporate that. Let's see. Let's call it I don't know. Roll 5d10.
5d10. Okay. $32. Wait. Yeah, 32.
32. Okay. You found they had ingested 32 gold pieces, and when one of them died, its middle split open and gold pieces came out. You're like, oh, let's check the guts of the other one. That's pretty easy. Pry that open. And yeah, you've found 32 gold pieces in the gook, I think is the technical term.
I take a cloth out and wrap the coins up and put them in my thing to clean and divvy up later.
Okay.
They would know that I wasn't going to steal them.
Sure. Ethereal mantis carapace is also a valuable get if there is some way to collect that, or just the willingness to collect it.
I definitely have the willingness. Let's see if I have the skillingness.
We would want
to use animal handling, since I'm like handling it to take the carapace off.
It would be more of a
my bad.
Survival. Animal handling is like being nice to an animal.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was literally handling the animal.
In the charismatic sense, yes.
I got survival.
Survival
I have
is
thieves' tools.
Yeah, survival is the skill to collect the carapace.
So I let Alaebas know, hey, if we can get some of this to the right buyer, this is pretty valuable.
Is any of this thing edible?
I think
16 nature roll on the first time.
I'm gonna, for the edible question, I'm gonna say, even with like, there's no roll that would, like, you don't know anyone who's tried to eat one,
okay.
And so that's just a big question mark.
Can I make a nature roll or something? Because I feel like his take would be like, this is an animal that came from this forest. Like, the best thing to do is use all parts.
Oh yeah, I mean, it has meat. You can eat. Like insects have meat. It is possible to eat. What I'm saying is, you don't know if it's bad for you.
Oh,
I got that. I think Alaebas and I have the same kind of thing, and because we've adventured for a while, like, there's always that, like, okay, cool, we killed something, like, how can we, to his point, use most of it? So
yeah, and I do want to be clear, these are not sapient creatures, right? They were they just
reactionary.
Monstrous
Gotcha.
Animal type things. Not people.
Correct.
Eat bugs,
Would,
not people.
Would Nyx have a reason to know kind of where their head's at with that? In terms of,
I think they've talked
wanting
about
to use it.
eating their kills before. That's not a bad guess.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's come up in quiet conversation, or not. Just kind of conversation that, like, just if there is some sort of adventuring that we've been outside of the city, that just with the normal way he goes about sustaining himself or the group when they go on adventures.
Either way, let me set the scene a little bit here. You can hear the thunder and lightning above the forest, but you're in a part of the forest that like you barely even see the flashes. Now that you're out of the fight and you watch for it, you could kind of tell that there's a flash of lightning, but you are fully in the Shimmerwood.
There's a really heavy canopy.
Yes. Yeah. And there's there is some water dripping, but it's, water that is filtered through a bunch, and you can easily find a spot like, oh, next to this tree trunk is totally dry, and just get out of the rain if you wanted to. And these two figures are, just laying in the brush. They're not going anywhere or melting or doing anything weird. If you want to dismantle them, that's not a totally weird thing to do. I will want a survival check. Or if we all want to work together, we can do it as a skill challenge. We did one of those early on when we were piloting the flying car.
And that went super well, so we should definitely do it again. I want to do it again.
It did go pretty well, actually. But
sorry, my sarcasm voice and my regular voice are a little...
No, I know. I was agreeing with you. I knew you were being sincere. Wait, you were, right?
Yes.
Okay. But now I was questioning. I was like, wait, I thought I knew. Okay, so here's what I would say. You have all the time in the world, so it's relatively simple, 6 successes over 3 failures. That's about as easy a skill challenge as you can make it. However, I'm going to put the DC at 15 because this is a unfamiliar critter to you. You've sort of identified what it is, but I don't think any of you have handled one before. And I am open to different skills. You can pitch what skill you want to use. We just keep going round and round until we get 6 successes or 3 failures. And I will say 3 failures in this circumstance will come with not deadly consequences, but there will be consequences. You're handling a poisonous creature, and it is that is known to you. So.
Oh, so I might get hurt? Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to handle that.
Now, you also have the opportunity of using your short rest now as you sit down and discuss what it is you want to do with it, and sort of take an hour to maybe eat a snack and catch your breath and do all that. I think, let's just say you're going to use your short rest before you start this. In a short rest, you can use up to, what are we, level 4?
Yes, we are level 4.
You each have 4 hit dice. The size of dice is up to your class, but you could spend up to 4 hit dice. Those don't regenerate until you take a long rest, but you can spend as many of those 4 dice as you want in a short rest. Also, Pooja, you'll regenerate your temporary hit points. Would anyone like to use hit dice?
I'm going to use hit dice.
Okay. Mark on your character sheet how many you're using, please.
2.
And roll them bones.
Confirm. And I have taken a short rest, and my relevant abilities have been reset. But I still have the same number of hit points, so I'm confused.
From a short rest?
Yeah.
Well, a short rest doesn't automatically get you hit points. You have to spend some number of hit dice and then roll them.
I spent 2.
Okay, but then you have to roll those dice.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and look at this. So this was...
What?
So basically...
Ventuz, what is 2d8 plus 4?
Those are my hit dice. So my hit dice is 1d8 plus 2. So if I'm doing 2 hit dice, isn't that 2d8 plus 4?
2 on your hit dice?
Yeah.
Yeah. As do I.
Hit dice 1d8.
Oh, it's your
2.
con bonus. Okay, yeah. Each hit die adds your con bonus to it. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I rolled like hot garbage, but I've doubled my current hit point status, so I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that bad a roll, honestly.
It could have been worse.
Yep.
It could have, but usually it isn't.
No. I rolled... My total recovery is 11.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I got confused because I thought when I marked off the hit dice that I was using on the thing, that it would automatically do that for me.
Yeah, I think they're in the middle of instituting things like that with the online dice roller built into D&D Beyond. When it rolls out of beta, hopefully they'll make it available to groups like ours.
Unlike Rob, I'm mostly fine. And with my temporary hit points, I'm more than fine.
Okay.
Can I ask a question, though?
Yep.
And this may be something I get to decide, but so, well, like I mentioned before, with using my Aberrant Dragon Mark, it changes my mood against my will. How long does that effect last?
It's up to you. I like the idea of it being a temporary heat of the moment type thing, and then as you like at a short rest, you would catch your breath.
That was my thought too. Was like, yeah. I could wrestle myself back to equilibrium over the course of a short rest,
or through the course of an apology
from someone else. Yes.
Okay.
Rude.
I'm just putting that out there that the GM will accept apologies as mood altering.
I apologize to the robot overlords. Does that
I
work?
mean, I could just say that like it's gonna probably like I'll play it by ear, role playing wise, but it's going to take some time for me to get my own emotions back in line.
Sure. So what does it look like as we're sitting down to catch our breath, have a snack, decide what to do with these critters? What is this scene?
So actually, really quickly, for Zay, have we seen you use the Chaos Bolt before?
I would say yeah. I mean, I've had the Dragon Mark for some time now.
I think you're born with it.
So I would call over and say, "Hey Zay, you use your mark?"
I mean, you saw it glowing.
Cool.
Do we know?
You want to talk about it, or you want to leave? You want some time to yourself?
I mean, if you could all stop fucking talking about stuff for like 3 minutes, maybe it would be better.
All right, so hey gents, let's give her some space, y'all.
I want to.
And I just kind of walk away from her.
And I'm also gonna be like, and you shut up too. And it's looking down, but like, not specifically, like I'm not holding the ring up to my face or anything, but I'm just gonna say like, and you too, shut the fuck up.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Just to the ground, basically. Yeah. Okay.
Well, it's funny though because in the cinematic view, like you see me get up to kind of do something like for Zay, and then she says that, and then I just take a step back and I sit down.
That's fun. All right. So, what are you discussing for dismantling these?
Well, what I was gonna start doing is I was actually like I wanted to give her like a trophy of the one that she killed, because one of the things
I didn't kill any of them.
I think you did,
but I'm also a they.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh, my mistake.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I have that somewhere, so sorry about that.
It's okay. It happens.
Because I was dead.
Nyx did have a confirmed kill, as well.
Well, because I was dead, I mentally attributed that one to Zay. Mm-hmm. So I was gonna give them a trinket anyway, because I tend to collect trinkets. Again, using the whole part of the whatever. Mm-hmm. Because they also make good trading and story items. And so I feel like that's part of Ventuz's kind of personality, is like to go up to tell stories about different things in trade, like in bars and stuff like that. And just that's how I've collected like a random assortment of stuff. So I was going to do that. And I was going to kind of kick it off with kind of trying to give something to Zay as like a, here you go, this is so you don't forget.
But something from the Manti.
Correct.
Okay. What's Alaebas up to in this situation?
Like, how frequently does she use this mark, or does they use this mark?
I don't use it very often, but when it seems like the best course of action. But I also don't always have this kind of like aggressive outward reaction.
Yeah, or sometimes you could be bubbly manic, or
yeah, exactly. So like sometimes because it could be any mood that comes up, and I don't know what it's going to be, and it is not there's not always going to be like a outward. Like in this case, I got furious.
Mm-hmm. Is hungry a mood?
Hangry is a mood.
Hangry is a
Hell
mood.
yeah, dude. That's my default mood.
Yeah.
Like as me, Rob, a person.
Yeah.
But stuff like that, where it's like sometimes I could just be like really like you'll see like after the fight I'll be really happy and affectionate. Sometimes I'll just be like sad and kind of or depressed or any number of things. So it's not necessarily like that I get weird.
Yeah.
But it also could be if you want it to be, it could just be like a wow, like sometimes combat really hits Zay hard.
Yeah, that's the way I saw it. Like that's really like reading the room. That's the way Ventuz is like, okay. And I always know, like, I always feel like combat takes it out of you, like literally, like just emotionally. And so I'm always on the lookout of ways to like try to help you get back to normal, even though I feel like sometimes it's the only way you can help me is by staying the F away. Like, is that fair?
Yeah, that works for me. I mean, somebody may have guessed. I don't have a problem with somebody guessing that, like, have putting two and two together because we've been together so long. But it's not something that, like, unless you were really paying attention, you may not have noticed.
Well, Nyx notices everything about everyone as a survival technique because they're a trauma survivor. So like they would notice if there was a cause and effect type thing of somebody.
Yeah, and that makes sense.
Is somebody's mic getting battered around? Sounds like a mic was bouncing on something. No. Okay. It's gone now.
I feel that Alaebas would pick up on the sway, especially after the combat. Like maybe it has to do with like a PTSD type thing that they might have gone through. So I think that like Alaebas would basically like tip his hat to Nyx to see how Nyx kind of grades the situation and their response, because he wouldn't want to force anything because he knows the swing of the emotions that they have once combat could happen.
Right. Yeah, and I think in this.
Go ahead.
I think in this instance, just to for this battle, I think Nyx probably just takes it day by day. That's why they asked Zay, "Hey, you want to talk about it? You want to be left alone?" Make sense?
I think that's great for me.
Cool.
Yeah, I love this journey for you.
I mean, I don't. I think it's really fun. So,
because I guess the question would be like, do we think there's ever been a time that we've been adventuring where Alaebas did actually have to step in, where like maybe she was like at a point where she was out of control?
They.
Yeah.
Or they, sorry.
It sounds like it's not that extreme. Pooja, what do you think?
No, it's because it's a temporary mood shift. Like it's just until I get my myself back under control. That it's more in line with a battle lust than it is like a full-on mania.
Would you,
So
Pooja,
we could be worrying.
Pooja, would you want to have like a D8 chart of some kind that we roll on to pick a mood?
I would love that, yes.
Okay.
Yes,
We'll come up with that out of game.
Sweet.
I was actually just thinking about that. I was like, oh, this one I just picked the first one that came to mind. I was like, mood. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But yes, I
it'd
would
be
love
fun
to have like
randomize it, I think.
outside of my own brain.
Cool. Okay, so what is Nick's up to as we're sitting around and having a snack and catching our breath?
Nyx is going to be how long is a short rest? An hour?
Yeah. Well, at least an hour.
So in that case, Nyx travels with a vial, which is basically a fiddle.
Oh yeah.
And so that's how they relax. So they're just gonna play.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Just like a chill, quiet tune kind of thing.
Just like just something kind of calming and soothing and.
Okay, I like that.
And also something like, hey, if there's any other animals, stay the fuck away because there's people here.
Yeah.
I also feel that Alaebas gets like super jealous of Nyx. Like he thinks like he needs to get a bag of holding for his loot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just because it's kind of a bulky thing to carry around with you.
Yeah, and then you could just like
in fight
bring
mode.
it out whenever.
Yeah.
Well, and I feel like we would have had it out already, like, and I would have been like, hey, I don't do this for anybody else. You don't have anything to worry about with me. This is just how I'm not trying to take your performance money. It's okay.
Oh no, it's definitely very soothing, especially after what we just went through.
Well,
yeah.
Wait, Claire, don't you have a bag of holding?
Maybe.
Because
probably.
You could have the option of carrying his loot around for him if you were both into that.
Well, and we could have little concerts, little post-battle concerts.
Yeah. Just jam
awesome.
sesh,
Yeah. I don't see what I mean, if the DM says I have a bag of holding, I have a bag of holding.
No, I'm misremembering, but we may see one in the future.
Okay.
All right, so we are getting some rest. We're enjoying a bit of the viol, and sort of catching up with our feels and all that. And the mantids are, ready to be dismantled. So why don't we take a stab at this and, slice off a piece. Now, I need to know what everyone's goal is. Are we talking about souvenirs? Are we talking about pieces that we can sell to alchemists? Are we talking about trying to make dinner?
My goal is to interact with this as little as possible without getting called out for not helping.
Oh, okay. That's a skill. Okay. Yes. I understand what that is.
Even though it's Nyx's idea.
It wasn't my idea.
Nyx, I'm going to ask you to roll performance, Nyx.
Okay.
Let's have you roll first.
Okay. 14.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. Our DC is 15 for this.
Super convenient how he tells us right after.
I actually said that before.
Whatever. Don't use facts with me.
Yeah, okay. You're going to look like a dummy when the video watches you.
Yeah.
Words.
Oh, yeah. That's the reason. Sure.
Okay. So, the good news is, Nyx, I wasn't going to apply your success or failure to the total of 6 out of 3. I was going to allow you to help or hinder. So, with your failed roll, someone else is going to have to roll with disadvantage, and I'm going to let you pick who.
I'm going to say Ventuz is going to roll with disadvantage.
Okay. So, Ventuz, you notice that Nyx is definitely trying to put in the minimum, and that is distracting you for whatever reason. Maybe you're annoyed. You could decide how you feel about that, but it has caught your eye, and it's distracting you from what you're trying to do. Ventuz, what are you trying to do?
I see this as a multi-step process.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are, I do want to use this as meat. I do think that there's value in selling parts of it that we can't use for food, and then but within one of those parts, like I do want to get a couple souvenirs or items to trade. So I'm gonna start with items to trade, and then I'm gonna go meat, and then everything else.
Okay, so you were looking for stuff to sell, to profit from.
That's part of it, yeah.
Okay.
But mostly I use trinkets to trade, like to barter with, not to sell.
Yeah, I understand.
So do you think I mean, your focus would be what would make the best story here? And with my background, I have because of my clan before I came to town and met up with all of y'all was more of a trader thing. So if you want to do the storytelling, what would be the most interesting, and then I would do what was most profitable, and then Alaebas would do the edible.
Yeah, I mean he was
great.
the first one to ask if we can eat it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying if you want to, because
perfect.
obviously we all have different things we care about.
So based on what Ventuz is describing, I would ask Ventuz to roll insight. Let me just go through all this and then we can settle it. Zay, you said what was your motivation?
The trade aspect. I would do trade.
Okay, so I would probably have you roll investigation unless you have another suggestion.
No, that makes sense.
I would also accept survival, but it's not going to be a charisma roll because you're that's when it comes to actually use it. But
exactly, and it makes
it.
Investigation makes sense to me because I'll be what I'm comparing it to things I know.
Okay.
But this isn't necessarily something I've seen before.
Okay, and
I'm assuming phasing manti don't come along every day.
No, they do not. Alaebas, to break this down for meat, is almost certainly a survival roll.
Animal handling.
No, that is for live animals. And it's the same bonus for you either way. So
that's what I'm going to use.
You're using survival.
Oh.
And let's just go around. We'll go Ventuz, Zay, Alaebas. And Ventuz, you're going to have to roll with disadvantage. Because
Am I rolling with disadvantage each time?
No, just this time around.
Just this once?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
I rolled a 9 on my first one, so if I recall math correctly, 9 is more than 15, so that should be a success.
Yeah, depending on which way you hold the ruler. Okay, so we have our first fail. At least it wasn't a critical fail. You got 5 on the dice, and 4 is a crit fail. So
correct, which we learned earlier when I rolled one of those.
Yes, yeah. I really appreciate you putting the time in to help our audience learn the new system, Rob.
I'm a giver.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to Zay. Making that insight check.
I rolled a 6, and then that gives me a total of 7.
Well, that's not great. Wait, your
investigation. So
that's right.
So 8. It gives you a total of 8. That's still more than 15.
Okay. We'll put another X on the list. That's all right. We only need 6 more successes before we get 1 more miss. So
out of the 3 of us, though, that's the sad part too, because Nick's just totally checked out.
Yeah, and that had an effect on the situation. Because Rob's other roll would have been...
I would have hit a 15.
Yeah, with your +4, yeah. I love it.
Yeah, me too.
I'm going to roll this, but before I do, I just want to thank the robot overlords for all they've given us, cell phones and the internet.
I agree.
And all that stuff. They're super awesome.
Amen.
All right, awesome. 4.
Well, that's
6.
a crit failure. Okay.
Oh my God.
The robot overlords have deemed you not worthy of this project.
Shit.
Holy crap.
Guys, I'm moving back to rolling dice on my table.
As I've said, you're all welcome to do that. I think it's fun to use rolls. I've rolled like this with regular dice too, so it's...
No, this is the best. I love it so much.
So we are into this. We're having conversations. We're talking about how we're going to use all this. And by the time we sort of all pick our heads up, we realize we're sort of working across purposes. And like this piece of carapace is ruined because it was stripped out of this. And then that tore the meat apart. And that's now like some of the poison from the mandibles got into this part of the meat that you were going to eat. And you're just winding up with a mess, basically, of like, wow, this really didn't go the way we wanted it to. So nobody's dying. No, no one's poisoned. Oh, wait a minute. That was a 4.
Yeah. Yes. And you just said the poison went in the meat.
Yeah. Alaebas, will you make a con save, please? It's a DC 11 per the creature.
These are real dice.
Okay.
And I got, oh crap. I got a 10.
Well, okay.
But what does the bless do?
You can add a D4. Yes, you can add a D4, which you will automatically make it because you're going to roll at least one.
I rolled a 3. Thank you, D4.
Okay. Yeah, it was DC 11, so that's fine. So you're going to take half damage, though, as the poison seeps into your bare hands. And normally that wouldn't be an issue, but you're just, like, in it for so long, trying to, like, pull these pieces apart and figure out it's, like, getting into your skin.
So whoever cut it, do they tell Alaebas that it got poisoned, or do they know it got poisoned?
I would assume since we all failed, we
and then
didn't
he's
realize.
all like, "Oh, I cooked it."
Like
no. You
like that we just
yourself,
didn't know.
You poisoned yourself trying to prepare it. Yeah, we didn't because you took 10 points of damage, Alaebas. You took 10 damage, and that is something everyone is aware of and sees happen. Like it is. What's your total hit points?
32. So now I'm at 22.
Okay, so that's a third of your health, right? Like I want to establish that in the fiction of like
he was going to take 20 points of damage.
No. He took half.
Yeah.
And I rolled a 19 on the damage dice.
Damn.
So, yeah. That's a much higher than average, but it's 4d8 for this poison, so it's.
I feel like this is super average for Jason rolling.
I'm sorry.
This seems rigged.
I took 18 points of damage in one shot.
Yep.
So this is completely in line.
Yep.
I mean, if it wasn't for the poison, this wouldn't be that bad, guys.
As a DM, I rolled a group of creatures attacking the heroes. I rolled a 20, a 20, a 20, and an 18 for these 4 monsters. That is when I'm GMing. I don't know why. I'm just a barbarian.
Sorry, it was surprising. I didn't see the roll in the room, so I was just really like, "Holy shitballs!"
Yep. So that is. I think it probably like comes on you gradually as well as you're like, slowly feeling bad and you're not paralyzed by it. You're not whatever, but it's like seeps into your skin and it starts to make your hands phase out a little bit. And that I think is the like freak out moment of like, oh God, you actually do a Marty McFly, as you could like see through your hand. And Nix, it seems like you were justified in staying the fuck out of it.
As soon as he gets injured, I'm like, guys, I don't think this is a good idea.
Yeah. Also, Nix, since you were not directly involved with this, I need you to make a perception check. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong character sheet. I also love D&D Beyond for being able to see everyone's character sheets.
Right.
And like help out or like, hey, you actually have more hit points than that.
I fucking love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is rad.
Yeah, it's
Is
super
it
good.
just passive perception or
Oh no,
actual...
it's your perception skill.
It's an active perception. Okay, 16
16 is very good actually in this situation. So while everybody is doing this and Alaebas is like, oh my God, Ventuz would probably jump in with a medicine check. Does that sound accurate?
Yeah,
Okay, let's go ahead and roll your medicine.
sure.
I can't imagine anything going wrong with this. Oh, 14.
Medicine is 2, so that's a 14.
Yeah, that's good.
I think that's usually pretty good because I still got the bless +4.
Oh, yeah.
But it's less than 9.
Yeah, well, you can't use Bless for a skill check, but 14 is great. And Alaebas, I'm going to let you heal a d6 worth of hit points.
Ooh.
Why would you heal a D6? That doesn't make any sense.
Ah,
Nice.
Thank you. That was
I
in my
love that
head
song.
too.
Well, guys,
What'd you roll?
these robot overlords are affecting my real dice because I healed 2.
Oh, woof. Okay.
Ouch.
No, like. Okay, so that's all happening. And I just want to know, where is Zay in this emergency? Are you like, oh, that's not good, or like, what? How are you interacting with this?
I feel like I got kind of caught up in the butchery process.
Okay, and you just...
and then kind of like was like, oh, like I didn't notice him start to phase out.
Yeah. Okay.
And then when shit started going down, people were like started to exclaim and stuff. I was like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
huh? Oh shit.
I'm trying to think of how to share an image with just one of you. How would I? Oh,
I think you can send a PM.
But not as a picture, right?
Like you could.
Well, you can
send
send
it.
a
You can.
link.
Oh,
Him
a
on
link.
Slack?
Yes.
I think in the chat, you
Smart.
probably just put it to whoever you want to send it to,
Yeah, a link.
and then maybe hit file. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So, Nyx. This, well, that's not what you were supposed to do. That's nothing. Why are you like this? Open image in new
Because
tab.
it's how I was born.
Oh, okay, there we go. Okay, so Nyx, I'm going to send you a message. If you could just open that picture up. This is stepping out of the gloom, probably 30, 40 feet away in the woods. In a, you were just kind of like looking out into the woods and stepping out of what you thought was the shadows, but was actually just blended into the woods. And it is gesturing at you. And I want to know what your instinct response would be.
What is the gesture that it's making?
It's hard to tell. It doesn't look as vigorous as spell casting, but you could make an Arcana check to see if it's casting a spell. And also, I think your character is probably unfamiliar with the species, if that's okay with you.
Yeah. I mean, I can make an Arcana check to see. Really, I just want to see, like, does it look like is the gesture threatening or non-threatening?
Let's roll insight for that.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. 17.
Oh, yeah. This thing is trying to communicate with you. And you realize it's actually using a version of the Thieves' Cant.
Which I speak.
And that is something you understand. It's basically sign language, right?
Yeah.
At least that's what I picture when I use Thieves' Cant in a game, if that's okay with everyone. I just use essentially ASL. But it is using... the archaic form is not the right word, but it's it because you're old. You're like,
got it.
Nobody cants like
dated.
that anymore. Yeah, that's nobody cants like that. It's
Okay, Grandpa.
I actually reply with, "How old are you?"
So the creature like cocks its head a little bit, and it's clear like it's having a little bit of trouble understanding you. and then it repeats its message, and you have the opportunity to try and like, oh, okay, this is what the whole message was. It was like you came in the middle of a Morse code, and you're like,
Sure.
I don't know. But as you see the whole message, it's may I telepathy. That's the like.
Okay.
It's sort of broken, context, and it's the archaic form that you haven't used in 60 years.
Right. And I say, I sign back, just me.
Okay, then it's gesturing you to come into the woods.
I follow.
Okay.
I call back to Zay because I can see Alaebas and Ventuz are busy, and
they're kind
I
of
say to Zay,
into it.
I say to Zay, I'm gonna disappear for a few seconds. It's more than like a minute. Come get me.
Okay.
Okay. You step out into the woods from the little clearing that you all had made in your fight, and when you get within, 15, 20 feet of this thing, you start to hear like a buzzing in your head, and then in the time it takes like take a deep breath as you're like, what's happening? There's this sort of rich baritone voice, which doesn't really match the figure that you're looking at, but it says, thank you for coming. I don't have a rich baritone voice, so we'll just have to go with what I got. But
I mean, you could try.
Picture Vingring. Thank you.
Yeah, well, that's more bass, but yeah. So anyway, it's a fairly masculine tone as well, and it says, "Thank you for coming to visit me. It seems like you and your friends are familiar with the mantid threat."
I have seen mantids before, but they didn't attack such large groups of people.
The mantids in this part of the Shimmerwood are mad, and we have been looking for help for some time.
How long?
And you get this confusing sense because it's telepathy, right? It's not just words.
Right.
Of like, I don't understand how to communicate this like amount of time, because it's also dark in here most of the time.
Oh. How many winters?
I mean, even that is a relatively nebulous concept.
Oh, okay.
Here. But it's less than your lifespan and more than a year. So
okay.
From 1 to 80 years.
Okay, just somewhere in there. Okay. Can the rest of my cohorts meet with you?
Yes, but I can only communicate effectively like this, and I would not without permission.
Okay. Do you... One of my friends is hurt. Do you have anything that can help people like us?
Oh, yes. They could come to our... and then the word isn't village, but that's like, your brain is like, village, yeah. I guess.
Okay, do you want, wait here, I'll come back, is what I say to them.
Okay.
Okay, and then and I'm like out of breath, and I'm trying to like signal, and like I'm canting at the same time, which you guys would know means that I'm very stressed out, because I'm basically signing as I speak, like I'm an interpreter. There's help, is what I can sputter out.
That's fantastic. It's Just breathe, Nix. Breathe.
Okay.
Zay, hold on. Zay, roll perception, please.
Okay.
What kind of pain is Alaebas in?
What it is it's that the pins and needles of returning feeling, because it was as your hands were fading out, there was no feeling, right? That was the kind of scary thing about it. But then as you were sort of getting the poison out of your system and recovering, you're not fading out, but your hands were numb and now they're coming back.
Okay.
So I rolled a 12 minus 1. That's an 11. I'm going to use my... Oh, wait, no. Because this is the skill, so I can't use the bless. Never mind.
I'll allow it if you want to use it.
I do.
Okay.
So that'll be a 15.
Yeah. The forest wanted you to succeed at that. You see almost like they're very, very faint. So firefly is a bad analogy, but little motes of orangey glow, like glowing motes are, as you tell Nyx to take a deep breath and like calm down and get it. You see just some little, like, as they breathe out, some little orangey glowing motes come out and they fade out almost immediately, and it's unlikely anyone would notice it, but you caught it in the dark.
I'm going to cast Detect Magic in response to that.
And we did determine your Detect Magic, the range that you can see things is not just 5 feet.
Yes. Yes.
I have a question
because
about
that would
that.
be fun and
Which
exciting.
would be pretty funny.
I have a question about that. So Detect Magic is a full action in combat. So does that mean it takes 6 seconds to cast?
Roughly,
Like in
yeah.
normal? So I would have time to be like, what are you doing?
I think you probably know what Detect Magic looks like. It's a pretty
Well,
established spell.
I'm not asking what she's doing. I'm asking why, though.
Oh, yeah, okay. So that's
Yeah.
fine. So they can cast Detect Magic, and you could say, but why? And
Great.
Detect Magic goes off. And I'm just checking one thing before we advance this, Pooja, because I want to make sure I'm...
Why do
Wait, reading the rules?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Okay. So for free, I'm just going to give you that there's a school of magic of there's a the divination school of magic is there's an aura of that around Nyx's head, but it doesn't extend very far. It's just a bit of divination magic.
Okay.
And then if you want to learn more, we can do an Arcana check, or
I would like to. I just
okay.
want to make sure that, because she says there's help, and then I saw her be like, I saw something that makes me think that her perception could have been manipulated.
Yeah, her perception might be, but she's definitely not charmed or entranced or something. Mm-hmm. So like, there's no mind control effect.
Okay.
Based on your Detect Magic, so that also is information that you would have.
Okay, perfect. So I'll take that at face value, because this is obviously an emergency that I didn't notice at the beginning, because I was concentrating real hard.
All right.
Not well, but hard.
So Ventuz and Alaebas, how do you react to Nyx's return?
He's trying to concentrate, but he really can't because of the poison.
Okay. So you're sort of half paying attention.
Yeah. Would he be able to see with dark vision what's in the woods?
Not really. And we're in
It's like
low
if he
light
glan- he,
conditions.
Yeah, because I feel like he would just be glancing, like not specifically looking for anything, because his attention's elsewhere.
Yeah. If you're not staring right at her, there's no chance of seeing this barely visible effect. So, what about you, Ventuz?
My eyesight's not super good, and I was focused on like Alaebas and trying to fix that whole situation. So I don't know if I knew that she left. Like I wasn't fully aware that she just like that. And I'm like, oh, well, what? What's going on?
So we'll just allow the back and forth, Nix.
So. Okay. I'm sorry.
I
I'm trying to remember.
I just saw something that seemed a little weird. I just wanted to check it out.
Okay. There's a tree person, a mushroom. There's a creature.
Did you mean an int?
A kind of a creature in the woods that speaks the hand stuff that I speak, and can also speak with your brain, like telepathy. They've got medicine that can help Ventuz and Alaebas, and they also need help with the mantises. Apparently, they're going crazy.
I get up and just kind of say, okay, where are they? I would love some help. Some help would be great. Also, I'm fascinated by the talking trees.
Also, Claire, I think your gesturing is bouncing your mic around potentially. It seems like you're getting some sort of a noise off of that, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
I could see like Alaebas like try to go with Ventus, like put his hand on his shoulder, but then like it kind of like phases out for like the last time, so he like kind of like misses and kind of stumbles forward a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
And like his hand comes back and he's just like,
oh man.
Here, let me give you a hand.
No, we had moratorium on dad jokes today. We agreed.
Mom jokes only.
Yep.
I'm trying to look back at my wife to figure out what kind of joke she would make, but she would just roll her eyes at all mine.
Yeah.
So that doesn't help.
Yeah,
I mean, I know what kind of things my mom would say.
All right. So, moving us forward, so Ventuz is ready to get up and walk into the woods with Nix. Alaebas, you're more or less ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay. And Zay?
Yeah, I'll go with them.
Okay. And so as you get a little bit closer, the voice in your mind, Nix, reminds you that it wants you to ask their permission.
Oh, can they talk to us telepathically?
Yes.
Is it okay?
I'm
Yes.
100% in and open for all of this experience.
Okay. Anybody?
No,
No.
never, no, thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate asking, but no.
And Alaebas, you
Yes.
can't give consent right now, or can?
Oh, no,
you
he can. Yeah.
Okay, so I kind of gesture at those two and say, these guys say it's okay. She doesn't want it.
Okay.
They don't want it.
So the voice, and all of you see this person come into view. I'm just going to put this in our general chat so everyone can see. As this person comes into view, it says in your mind, Nix, to ask her to wait a second, and it waves you over to, like, it wants to hand you something. And it looks like basically
hand me something.
Yeah, it's basically holding out a piece of fabric, and it's saying to tie this over her nose and mouth, or their nose and mouth.
Okay. I tell them that that's what the tree wants me to do.
Okay.
So I do that.
Okay, and Zay, you put on your filter.
I put on my PPE.
Yep. Okay.
and don't inhale the spores that allow telepathic communication with the mushroom person who looks kind of swashbuckly.
Yep. So I do want to just establish for our fiction, some of our players may be familiar with myconids. These characters are not familiar with myconids. Like that is just something I want to establish for our fiction. It's probably it could be something you've heard of or read about, but I'm gonna say at most, and then that's up to you.
Could this be like I see it and it's like, man, I heard some weird stories on the road, but like it's the same as like I have heard of the Sasquatch.
Oh yeah, it would be on those lines. But there are magical creatures in the world, and that like mushroom people seems a little outside, but you know, there was a clockwork person serving drinks on your train, like
Yeah, but the clockwork person is real.
yes.
And not a story that you tell small children to make sure they don't go out in the woods alone.
Yeah, I think that's you did get stories that the mushroom people would steal you, and you know, don't eat mushrooms too close to the woods because they'll make you sick, and all that kind of stuff. Ventuz, have you heard of myconids?
Not at all.
Okay, brand new experience. Alaebas?
I think he would have, just because of how his order and like kind of like.
Yeah, you're pretty plugged into nature.
Right. And like with the druids, you know, with them being immortal essentially.
Well, some of them, yeah.
Yeah. That I don't know what kind of real like in the hierarchy of things, like where they would land with the deep wood elves where Alaebas would come through. So he's heard of them, but it's more of like it's just a part of nature. They're there.
Yeah, they definitely they don't fit into the hierarchy of like who's in charge of the druids and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's such a small population of folks that it's not like, you know, they attend council meetings of any kind or anything like that. Like they're just barely aware of the existence. So
like I feel like in the druid history book, there's like a sentence about them, like, hey, there's these mushroom people.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's probably even a sentence of like we were introduced to mushroom people, they didn't attack us, you know, that sort of thing, and you know, maybe you've even heard of their telepathic communication. So but that's fine. The three of you are able to hear this mushroom's thoughts. It is still signing, but I don't think Zay knows thieves' cant as a language.
I want to try to do because I know they said like no, they're not interested. So I'm gonna do my best play-by-play of what's going on out loud so they can follow along.
Okay, and it is okay, that's fine. Also, the myconid is not making much of an audible, like they're not talking and you just don't understand them. They're just mostly moving their hands and thinking at you. So it's not like then Zay would have to be listening to two things at once. That's more of a thing for Ventuz to have to do, is to hear that and then translate. But the four of you approach this myconid. It is up close. It's about 5 feet tall. Kind of light green down the middle to darker green out to brown, and then at the very tips and across the top of its head is actually a purpley kind of color. That it has a wide brim, you know, mushroom cap hat, which is actually just the top of its head, and it is not wearing clothes of any kind. It's just you know, out here in the buff, so to speak. But is
it in the fung?
Yeah, it's in the fung. The conversation, it goes along the lines of, you know, we want to invite you to our village again. So the three of you now hear this thing speaking. You know, village is the wrong word, but that's kind of the only thing your brain can plug into that spot. And it starts leading the way, you know, kind of hopefully, and looking back at you, hoping that you'll follow.
Alaebas stumbles forward to follow it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, right there.
Nyx is already Nix is already on this journey.
Mhm. Okay.
I'll bring up the rear. Like
Okay.
I'll go with the group, but I want to keep an eye out for. We'll try to be actively
Yeah.
perceptive.
Well, yeah. Actually, let's have you do an Arcana check, please, because the detect magic lasts a while.
Yeah.
10 minutes, but yeah, that's fine.
It's been far less than 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was a 9, so not great.
Okay, so first run at this, we're not real sure what's happening, but you're in a really disorienting situation, and it's, also maybe a little bit scary that you don't know exactly what's being said, and Ventuz is your only source of information.
Yeah, I'm trying to parse out what he's saying and how much is his words versus what the mushroom person is also saying and the myconid and so I'm just kind of confused. I'm like, maybe I understand. Nope. No, I don't.
Okay.
I'm gonna actually question the myconid to see what we should call it.
Oh, it can clearly communicate that it doesn't have a name. It's not a confusing concept or anything. It's just, I'm me, and that's, everyone is themselves.
That's fair. So for purposes of my translation, I'm just going to start saying Mush says. He's now been dubbed Mush. It has been dubbed Mush.
Oh, yeah, and it uses it pronouns.
Yeah.
So the Mush leads the way into further deeper into the woods. You vaguely aware that you're moving away from the cliffs, so you are going deeper into the woods, and then eventually it gestures and a bunch of vines and just ground cover moves out of the way. Your detect magic immediately shows just this sort of innate I think that's evocation. I don't know what druid magic registers as, but let's see, D&D magic schools. I can't remember what they're all called. So the schools are conjuration, necromancy, evocation, abjuration, transmutation, divination, enchantment, and illusion. This isn't evocation. Evocation is move things, set things on fire, fireball is an evocation. But I think mage hand is evocation or abjuration or something. But anyway, it is performing magic without doing any sort of somatic or verbal component. It's just, performing nature magic. And it reveals the entrance to a cave that is tall enough for most of you to walk without being hunched. But Ventuz will have to hunch a bit to make this work. And nobody else is really over 6 feet tall, right? Wood elves aren't that tall. And I think the changelings both said you were 5 foot something, right?
Yeah.
It depends on the day.
But at the same time, more in the average height than.
Also, as changelings, this might be a unique opportunity. It might be in your thought to mimic this at some point, right? It's, you're kind of studying it as it moves and it walks, and you're like, I'm just starting to get an idea of how to do this. I never would have thought of that. But
You want to see if we see any more if they have a smaller head cap.
Yeah. So you head down into this cave, and it gets real dark for a moment. Your dark vision, whoever has dark vision, that is helpful for a moment. But then it starts to glow again, and the glow increases to almost like dawn or dusk level of light. It's definitely bright enough to walk around and not run into things. And you can see there were maybe 3 dozen, 30 some mushroom folk moving around. But then there are also mushroom, it looks like, is that a person or is that just merged into that root structure? I don't know. Like it's hard to tell. They range from 3 feet to 6 feet tall. There's, so the one you've been talking to is fairly medium height. Wide mushroom caps, narrow mushroom caps. All species of mushrooms are represented here, and the being takes you to their central kind of. It's really like comes down to the kind of like how the old like Greek or Roman you would have that in the round auditorium seating where it goes deeper to a central spot, and then there's seating all around there. It looks like you could seat about 100 people, but like I said, there's only 30 or so, and everyone is stopping what they are doing. They're coming over to talk to you, and those of you who are plugged into what's happening, you are hearing lots of voices at once, and it's pretty overwhelming. You're gonna have it takes a minute to get used to what's going on. And the Mush, who led the way in here, turns and addresses the crowd and says, "Our saviors have arrived." And everyone, they lift their hands up, but they're not cheering. And some of them clap this like sort of flappy clap noise of the mushroom flesh. And I think that's a good place to end it for today. I want to save time for
clapping fleshy mushroom flesh is kind of perfect to end it. Yes,
that may be my X card. I don't know. I'll have to think about that.
That's fine.
I'm mildly kidding.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm also happy to pull it if it's uncomfortable.
Creepy.
Well, I hope so. That was my goal. It was a little creepy, but not too creepy. But if it's too creepy, that's okay. We could do something about that.
I like the whimsy.
I also like the idea that this thing has just assumed you're here to take on the task. It's like made a couple of logical leaps ahead that weren't discussed yet. But let's take a minute to talk about stars and wishes today. So just as a review, we did a little bit of this last time. For instance, one of the wishes was, let's have some more combat. So I, trying to get some combat into this. Your stars, you go around and say something cool that one of your fellow players did today, or just something you thought was awesome that happened today. And then wishes would be something directed for me to include or do better or come up with, or, whatever, just bring to the table next time. So what I like to do is go around and have everyone do a star, and then the last person to do a star does the first wish, and we reverse through the order. So, does anybody want to go first? And then we'll go clockwise from there. If you know your star right off the bat.
I've got a star.
Do you? Okay.
Yes. Actually, and my star is for everybody.
Yay.
I feel like everybody did such a good job of character-driven roleplay today. Alaebas with the little, the little twang of jealousy over Nyx having an instrument, and Ventuz just being so ready to just jump into anything and ready to just explore. I feel like Ventuz has a lot of childlike innocence that, Rob, you're doing a really good job of portraying. And Zay, I love that choice of having, having the emotional shift that, and you don't know how it's going to go. And good job, Jason, for making that a cool, fun thing that we get to play around with.
Cool. So clockwise takes us to Rob.
Oh.
I was gonna say the one that really struck me was the Chaos Bolt, and like the effect that it has on emotions and stuff like that. Hi, sweetie. And then and so basically like Pooja looking at you and trying to understand after the fact, like, oh, do we know this happened? Do we not know this happens? Like, how does that affect our conversation, not only in combat and our tactics, but also out of combat, right? Like, do we approach you? Do we not? And I think that since D&D has such a significant amount of combat, whether you use Chaos Bolt or not all the time, though, that's an added layer that I'm super curious to see how it's going to go.
It's going to be like, I'm really glad because I wasn't originally going to take the Aberrant Dragon Mark, and it was a suggestion from Jason. So thank you for that, because it's really interesting and I really like playing with it.
I like complications.
Me too.
Do you have a star today, Pooja?
I do. I wanted to say that I really loved Nyx's like bowing out of this skill check situation. Like, it was just so great where it was like, you know what? Nope. I'm good.
But not only that, doing it and trying to not look like that. You know, like that I thought was a really fun character choice. Like, all of you making really strong character choices today.
It was so great. And this, like, I imagine in my head, like, after we were done with this, where, like, Alaebas and Ventuz, like, kind of looked at each other and just started, like, they were about to go in on the carcasses themselves. And I kind of think of, like, the two of us being like, really? Right now? That's what you want to do?
Yeah, I love it.
It's like an old habit kind of thing, and we're like, oh, there's other people here.
Yeah.
Oops.
So I just really loved it. Like, I agree that, like, I think strong character choices got made, and like we all have our quirks.
I agree.
Yeah.
Eli, do you have a star?
Me. Yeah, I think to go on with everybody's saying, I think there's a lot of great character choices for all of us. Like, it brought out more layers to let us all dive into to make the story grow. Because I feel that, like, the Dragon Mark was awesome. Ventuz, like, the way he reacted to it, I thought was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
How he, like, came in and wanted to, like, try to help out, but then after the response that they gave, like, he totally just kind of backed off and kowtowed, where I thought that he might have gotten a little bit more forceful.
Yeah, well, I think that would have been a really easy thing for him to do in that situation, and that's why what he did do was more impressive, was, like, have that more nuanced reaction versus just, well, you're mad at me, I'm mad at you, and you know, that's it's fun to see it taken in a more interesting direction.
Yeah, and I really love the Nyx's shitty group project teammate take.
Yes, yeah, we've all been in that group.
Yep.
Okay, and then we'll start with Eli and go in reverse for any wishes.
I'm good. Other than we need to find a way to appease the robot overlords.
Yeah.
I'll write it down, but I don't know what I can do. Robot
I see that our last three out of 4 rolls were all 12, and yours were all upper of the die rolls. So I feel like we need to figure out what favor you have, Jason.
Yeah, like, the system obviously it rolls a balanced result, but it gives me the high ones and it gives the 4 of you the low ones, and it's like,
well, I mean, I was doing fine there for a while, but I think I may have helped out the others a little too much, because then they came down on me.
Well, possibly. Well, Pooja, do you have any wishes for next game?
Nothing that I can think of right now. This is really fun. Like, I liked that. I do want to call out that, like, thank you for changing your monster not once but twice.
I mean, that's the thing. That's like the minimum output, I think, for X carding something is, like, it took almost nothing to do that. So I would encourage more GMs to think, like, is it important that they're spiders? No. That's, like, they could be giant rats. Like, it could be anything. It doesn't matter. But anyway, that's fine. Also, folks, too, well, I mean, we'll go through and see if Rob and Claire have wishes. But if anyone wants to do a wish offline or in an email so that it's, you don't want to say it in front of everyone, like, that's fine, too. I'm always happy to, or if you just think of it later, that's okay.
happyjacks.org/forum. If anybody watching wants to do a wish.
Yeah.
Or listening later.
I have
Yes.
I have a wish, but it's that the next time we meet, maybe we'll know when the next time we'll be in the studio will be.
Well, that is not up to us, unfortunately.
Yeah, but that's just that's not a you wish. That's a us.
Yeah. Rob, did you have a wish?
Kind of.
Okay.
Like I don't know. Like I don't like so this is actually something that I sent Jason. I just sent Jason a private message. Because Pooja made me think about it. Is technically I have a familiar, but I haven't figured out a way to use it.
Yeah, we
and I
haven't had
been
it
able
on
to use
screen
it.
yet.
Yeah, and I'm not used to having a familiar, so like having like some help kind of with that, or maybe a little bit of directed suggestions. But because Jason is open-minded and doesn't give an F about the rules, we have turned rope into my familiar.
Yay!
Yeah.
So, so I just need to figure out how to use it.
Do we call it ropey or just rope?
No, it's just rope.
Rope.
It's capital ROPE.
Understood.
I have
My
been.
boss calls it ropey.
I have been calling Rope the best of boys, but if Rope wants to have different pronouns, that's cool too. I just need to know.
Rope's open. Rope's down to party.
I think for story purposes, as far as we know so far, rope is sentient but not sapient. Right? Does everyone understand the difference between those? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that'll be. I'm putting something in here to try to bring the familiar to the forefront. So.
Yeah, I literally just don't know how to do it. Like it's not in my repertoire yet.
Mm-hmm.
So just helping me. It's a selfish wish.
No,
it's a gift to all of us because Rope is the best.
Yeah,
That's the best. That's the funniest familiar I've ever heard of.
Yeah, that's the thing about wishes. Bringing up something like somebody saying, "Oh yeah, I want to have more combat." Somebody else is probably like, "Oh yeah, actually that sounds like fun." Like it's Or if somebody's going like, "Yeah, but I don't want that much combat." Okay, that's fine. Only one person said they wanted more combat, so I'm gonna try to do an even amount, and So I always find these helpful. I like this process.
I will say that whereas D&D combat can be really you get bogged down and blah 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 blah. I feel like we did as a group a really good job of streamlining.
Oh yeah, I did too. I think
what
everyone
all of this is.
And we didn't stop role playing during the fight. That's a thing that that I'm always striving for is you don't stop being characters to beat up this thing and then start being characters again after the fight. Incorporating your characteristics and your personality and all that during the fight is the holy grail of role-playing games, I think. So I was really happy to see you all doing that and pushing for that. So thank you. That's my star. Okay, well, I think that's it for us tonight. You all did an awesome job. And all of the folks audiencing now or later, those are the only two ways to participate. Thank you for joining us. Also, you can go to happyjacks.org/forum to continue your participation. You also will find our umpteenth other shows. We have so many shows. A lot of fun stuff to go and listen to. So thank you very much for everyone being here live or later. And we will see you in 2 weeks. Let's make sure I'm not forgetting anything. So in 2 weeks is May 24th. That is when we will be back. If you want to catch up on past episodes, I mentioned before, happyjacks.org/City of Towers and or happyjacks.org/shows for just everything on the Happy Jacks network. So let's go around and say our goodbyes. Eli.
My name is Eli. I'm on Twitter at Ignatius Wang. You don't really need to follow me. Follow everybody else. Have a good time. Be nice to everybody.
Amen. Be excellent to each other. Pooja?
I will see y'all next week for more Glittering Night, our Vampire 5e campaign. And in the meantime, be kind to yourselves.
Oh, yes. Rob?
Yeah, I can't see the Twitch block, so I just wait till Jason says my name Romper Room style.
Sure. It's easier that way.
Yeah, my name's Rob. Thanks for coming in, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
All right. Claire?
Claire, check out the Merry Wives of Windsor. We're doing a lot of remote collaborations and releasing them. We're calling it karaoke, and I'm really mad that we didn't I didn't think of the new one that I thought of last week, which was Covideos.
Yes.
So, but we're releasing a lot of new content about every 2 weeks, and we've got some exciting stuff coming up. So,
Covideos sounds like the god of recording.
Covideo.
Yeah. And I'm Jason. You can catch all my stuff at It's Probably Okay on Twitter. That's also on Twitch, where I have some of my own stuff going on. I'm running a Return to the Spider-Verse, which is using the Miles Morales animated movie setting. Lots of fun folks in that.
Best. It's the best.
Yeah,
Thank you. I'm having fun, and it's just a hoot. I'm here Mondays, every other Monday and every other Sunday. I think I did a pinned tweet and mixed up. I said this was Mondays, and then I said the other thing was Sundays. But whatever. I'm here every other Sunday and every other Monday. You'll figure it out. And I on the Mondays I get to play in Kadave's Things from the Flood campaign and play a robot boy with a heart of titanium. And I think that's most of what I've been up to lately. Oh, also Fridays are Friday Fly Day. I play No Man's Sky with Sam DeLev, and we just goof off and chill. It's very chill, which is honestly what I need. And if you need chill as well, you can come watch us play a very slow, quiet video game, and it's pretty nice. But I think that's it for us. So thank you everybody for joining. And I'll throw the calendar up here. If you missed the calendar or if you're listening, you could go check out happyjacks.org/schedule and see everything that's coming up. So thanks, everybody. Good night.
Bye.
Late.
Bye.
If I told you the things I've seen on my ways, if I told you the things I've done in my days, you wouldn't believe me anyway. So it's best I just don't say. I've lived 1,000 lives, I piloted 1,000 souls, I killed and fought and died just for a single